Chapter 1781 Abyss Demon Sovereign, Substitute Puppet. The Abyss Demon Sovereign's voice was extremely unpleasant, but it contained extremely strong power. Lin Mo only heard his voice and felt his heartbeat a few times involuntarily. The Abyss Demon Sovereign came in person to kill him. Zhu Qiwu said in a low voice, "I'll hold him back, you go in that direction." He winked at Lin Mo, signaling Lin Mo to leave. Lin Mo shook his head, "I can't leave, and I won't leave." Zhu Qiwu's eyes were obviously a little anxious. Facing a Saint Sovereign, Lin Mo's presence or absence was the same. He could hold him back with all his strength for a period of time. If Lin Mo was lucky, he might be able to escape. Lin Mo Yu smiled and said, "As a dignified Saint Venerable, are you not afraid of being laughed at for attacking a god king like me?" The gloomy voice sounded again, "Who dares to laugh at this Venerable?" The abyss fire expanded instantly, like a cage, trapping Lin Mo Yu and Zhu Qiwu firmly. Zhu Qiwu's eyes were resolute, rules gathered, already preparing to fight desperately. Lin Mo Yu was also preparing to attack, regardless of whether he could win or not, he would only know after fighting. He had the Abyss Dragon Demon's scales, and could use Corpse Explosion. The Abyss Demon Venerable was indeed a Saint Venerable, but Saint Venerables were also beyond. Logically speaking, using the Abyss Dragon Demon's corpse as material, it should also be able to injure the Abyss Demon Venerable. If he added the myriad colors water, perhaps there would be a chance to kill the opponent. A God King slaying a Saint Venerable, it seemed a bit like a fantasy, but Lin Mo Yu felt that he could try. Suddenly his soul stirred, and he said to Zhu Qiwu, "It's all right." A point of golden light suddenly exploded in the flames, followed by countless points of golden light exploding, and wherever the golden light passed, the abyss fire was extinguished. Celestial Saint Venerable. The Abyss Demon Venerable let out a low roar, obviously very angry, and also with a hint of surprise. Perhaps he was surprised at how quickly the Celestial Saint Venerable had arrived. Amidst the myriad points of golden light, a figure gradually solidified. The Celestial Saint Venerable looked towards a certain point in the void with a gentle smile. "Abyss Demon Venerable, after thousands of years, do you still want me to attack again?" After a few seconds, a low roar came from the abyss fire. The abyss fire gradually disappeared, and the Abyss Demon Venerable left. Lin Mo Yu heard from their conversation that they had fought each other thousands of years ago. And the Celestial Saint Venerable should have won. The Abyss Demon Venerable did not dare to fight the Celestial Saint Venerable again now. Zhu Qiwu was about to speak, but the Celestial Saint Venerable waved his hand to stop him. The Celestial Saint Venerable raised his hand, and a golden star appeared in his palm. The star flew out from his palm, like a golden sun, illuminating the universe. Lin Mo Yu and Zhu Qiwu bathed in the golden light, feeling as comfortable as in a hot spring. Then wisps of black gas flew out from Lin Mo Yu's body, and melted under the illumination of the golden light. Lin Mo Yu asked, "What is this?" With his soul realm, he had not even sensed the existence of the black gas. The Celestial Saint Venerable said, "This is the mark that the Abyss Demon Venerable placed on you." Just a mark? Lin Mo Yu felt that things were not that simple. The Celestial Saint Venerable further explained, "The Abyss Demon Venerable's mark is somewhat special. Not only can he track you through the mark, but he can also ignore distance and directly launch attacks on you through the mark. Of course, that kind of attack is not very powerful, and will not be fatal. But he will attack at the most critical time of your cultivation, disrupting your cultivation, and even making your efforts fall short." Lin Mo Yu felt a slight chill in his heart. As expected of the Abyss Demon Venerable, his methods are insidious and indeed hard to guard against. Killing intent had already risen in his eyes, and when he had enough strength in the future, he would definitely kill him. The Celestial Saint Venerable smiled and shook his head. "These are just small tricks. The Abyss Demon Venerable's real methods are more than this. Even I would feel a headache with many of his methods, so after learning that you had interacted with him, I rushed over immediately." As he spoke, a palm-sized doll appeared in the Celestial Saint Venerable's hand. "This is a substitute death doll. If you encounter a fatal threat, it can die for you once." Substitute death doll. This was truly a good thing, even more precious than a God Venerable realm magic treasure. Having it on his body was equivalent to having an extra life. Lin Mo Yu immediately imprinted his soul mark on the substitute death doll, and the substitute death doll turned into a stream of light and drilled into his brow. In the soul world, a doll appeared beside the soul. The doll was like a cloud of gas, constantly changing, occasionally reflecting Lin Mo Yu's appearance. It faintly exuded a peculiar aura, seemingly connected to some kind of rules between heaven and earth. If there was a fatal danger, whether it was a physical danger or a soul danger, it would die for Lin Moyu once. And it could be controlled by Lin Moyu himself, or it could be left alone to play its role on its own. It could be controlled by itself, which meant that it would not affect Lin Moyu's talent. Lin Moyu would definitely choose to use his talent first, and only when the 2 rebirth opportunities of his talent were exhausted, would he use the substitute death doll. Seeking flowers, Lin Moyu bowed to the Celestial Saint Venerable. "Thank you, Celestial Saint Venerable." The Celestial Saint Venerable waved his hand. "This is just one of them. Rune Saint Venerable, House Saint Venerable, and Kill Saint Venerable are refining protective items for you, and will send them to you in a while. No matter where you are going next, you must not leave the human race star territory before their protective items are sent, do you understand?" The Celestial Saint Venerable's tone carried a bit of caution. This also showed that the Celestial Saint Venerable was also wary of the Abyss Demon Venerable's methods. Lin Moyu became vigilant. "I will be careful." The Celestial Saint Venerable nodded in satisfaction, and looked at Zhu Qiwu again. "Qiwu, you have been away from home for more than 2,000 years, it's time to go home and take a look." Zhu Qiwu said with emotion, "It's really time to go back and take a look. More than 2,000 years, things have changed, I don't know how they are." The Celestial Saint Venerable left, and before leaving, he reminded Lin Moyu again. Lin Moyu and Zhu Qiwu returned to Fortress Number 10. Then the two formally said goodbye, and Lin Moyu returned to Fortress Number 1 alone. Long teleportation, countless stars were left behind. After several battles, Lin Moyu felt a trace of fatigue in his heart. This was unavoidable, and would always be experienced in the process of cultivation. People always have emotions, even if the Tao heart is firm, sometimes it is impossible to avoid emotional ups and downs. This is why after cultivating to a certain level, one needs to experience the warmth and coldness of human relationships, and needs ordinary life to smooth out the bumps of cultivation. There are many powerful cultivators, either God Kings or God Venerables, who often go incognito and enter the world of ordinary people. Living with ordinary people, eating, drinking, shitting, sleeping together, and slowly growing old together. Just like Zhu Qiwu, when he was a God King, he went to several small worlds. In the small world, he fully experienced birth, old age, sickness, and death as an ordinary person. After transcending again, he made his Tao heart more firm. Lin Moyu was once an ordinary person, and has come to this point step by step, so he doesn't need to do so. But he will also feel tired, and sometimes he needs to rest. Fortress Number 1 is still the most lively place in the human race territory of the Vermilion Bird battlefield. In the backyard of the trading center, Yu Zhu had already brewed tea. Seeing Lin Moyu returning, Yu Zhu's beautiful face bloomed like a flower, dazzlingly beautiful. Chapter 1782. Why don't we cook rice from raw rice? Captain, tell Yu Zhu about it. What kind of experience was it this time? Looking at the captain's appearance, it seems like he has experienced a slaughter. Is it very dangerous? Yu Zhu's voice is very sweet, and even listening to her talk all the time will not make people feel bored. The blood on Lin Moyu's body has not dissipated, and there is a trace of fatigue between his eyebrows, and there is also a faint murderous aura. Yu Zhu has seen countless people, and knows that Lin Moyu's trip must have been dangerous. A cup of iced tea entered his stomach, and the clear iced tea spread in his body, dispelling the unease and heat in his blood. Lin Moyu exhaled a long breath, and then showed a slight smile. I did experience a few battles, perhaps you will receive the news soon. Yu Zhu said with a smile. It seems that the captain made a big fuss this time. Lin Moyu nodded slightly. It's really big. Seeing that Lin Moyu didn't say it directly, Yu Zhu didn't ask any further. Since Lin Moyu said that news would come, 583, then she was not in a hurry. The Yu family's news is very timely, and she shouldn't have to wait too long. Yu Zhu's big eyes turned, carrying a soul. Captain, do you know? In the Vermilion Bird battlefield, a new town guardian is coming. Lin Mo nodded. I know, Senior Zhu has advanced to the other shore realm, so naturally someone needs to replace him. Zhu Qiwu's advancement to the other shore realm was not a secret, and Yu Zhu would soon find out. As expected, Yu Zhu didn't seem too surprised, perhaps she had already heard about it. She continued, does the captain know who the new guardian is? Lin Mo shook his head. I don't know. Generally, battlefield guardians are peak divine venerables, from the divine city. Before it was Zhu Qiwu, this time it should be the same, from a large family in the divine city. Yu Zhu said, it should be from the Song family. Lin Mo thought of Song Jia, the ancestor of the Song family, a powerhouse in the other shore realm. He had helped him before and even gave him an ancient jade talisman. The ancient jade talisman became one of his trump cards, solving a lot of troubles for him. Actually, Lin Mo didn't care who came to the Vermilion Bird battlefield as a guardian. However, Lin Mo noticed that Yu Zhu's expression was a little strange. Is there a problem? Yu Zhu whispered, Captain, can you do me a favor? Lin Mo looked at her, tell me about it. Lin Mo didn't directly agree. Yu Zhu also knew Lin Mo's character, and immediately said, actually, it's about the guardian from the Song family this time. Lin Mo raised an eyebrow, do you have a grudge against him? Do you want me to kill him? Yu Zhu exclaimed in surprise, no, our Yu family has a good relationship with the Song family. After thinking for a while, Yu Zhu finally mustered up her courage. It's like this, the guardian sent by the Song family this time is called Song Ren, he is a peak divine venerable. Song Ren and my father are good friends, and our Yu family has a good relationship with him. Song Ren has a son named Song Yi. Song Yi once came to my house to propose marriage, but I refused. He will also come this time, and my father will also come. Lin Mo understood, and smiled dumbly, what are you thinking? Yu Zhu's pretty face turned red, I already have someone I like, it's not Song Yi. As she spoke, Yu Zhu's beautiful eyes stared straight at Lin Mo, without blinking. As long as it was a normal person, they could see the affection in Yu Zhu's eyes. However, Lin Mo turned a blind eye and drank his tea, then just refused directly, wouldn't that be fine? Yu Zhu whispered, that won't work, I can't explain it to my father, our Yu family has very strict rules. The reason why I haven't returned to the Yu family, haven't returned to the Divine City, and actively requested to be transferred to the 4 great starfields and enter the battlefield is to avoid him. Faced with the family's rules, Yu Zhu chose to escape. Lin Mo could understand, in this kind of big family, there are too many rules, as a family member, there are often no choices. The family's arrangements must be followed, as a family member, you must contribute to the family. There is only one exception, and that is to show amazing cultivation talent. Then the family will treat you as a treasure, and do their best to cultivate you. It is impossible for you to marry out. Even all the external troubles, the family will come forward to help you settle. And Yu Zhu is obviously not this kind of person. Yu Zhu's cultivation talent is not considered excellent, it can only be considered not bad. Yu Zhu's status in the Yu family may not be low, but in the end, she still can't escape that kind of fate. In a big family, sometimes you just can't help yourself. Lin Mo asked, Song Yi's talent is very high, right? Yu Zhu nodded, very high, he is only 300 years old, and he has already achieved Divine King. He is a relatively outstanding genius among the younger generation of the Song family. Moreover, Divine Venerable Song Ren had a son late in life. Song Yi is his youngest son, and he is extremely doting on him. Divine Venerable Song Ren has a very good relationship with my father. Although my father loves me, he will also consider the family. Not only that, Song Ren is a direct descendant of the Song family, his grandfather is the ancestor of the Song family, and he has a very good relationship with my Yu family's ancestor. Yu Zhu felt a little desperate as she spoke. What is the status of the family's ancestor? If Song Yi asks the ancestor, and the Song family's ancestor and the Yu family's ancestor speak, it is impossible for her father to follow her wishes. Lin Mo drank his tea, then what do you want me to do to help you? Yu Zhu thought for a while, why doesn't the captain make a sacrifice, we cook the rice, so I don't have to marry him. Lin Mo almost spat out a mouthful of iced tea, this girl Yu Zhu, is really bold, she can even come up with this kind of idea. He knows that in this kind of family, they value a woman's chastity very much. Losing chastity before marriage is severely punished. Lin Mo shook his head, this method is not feasible. Yu Zhu sighed, she seemed to have expected that Lin Mo would not agree. Why doesn't the captain propose marriage to my father? If I marry you, I don't have to marry Song Yi. With the captain's status, my father will definitely agree. Lin Mo smiled and shook his head, I have a wife. Ah, Yu Zhu was stunned, her face turned pale, Captain, are you married? Lin Mo smiled, I got married in the small world, and I have more than one wife. Yu Ju's face was full of disappointment. After hesitating for a long time, she mustered up her courage again. Then can the captain marry one more? At this moment, Lin Mo felt that Yu Zu was a little cute, a little pure, and a little pitiful. She usually imitates the temperament of the elders in the family. No matter how much she imitates, she is just a little girl who has not experienced anything. Although she is much older than herself, what she shows is really just a little girl. Holding a sad face, and full of expectations, Lin Mo couldn't help but reach out and touched her little head. The soft hair brushed through his fingertips, and at the same time came Lin Mo's gentle voice, "Don't worry, I have a way." Yu Ju's eyes lit up. What way? Since when? She has not had the slightest doubt about Lin Mo's words. Lin Mo said he has a way, then there must be a way. Lin Mo closed his eyes slightly, connected to the Human Emperor network, and sent a message to Madame Yu. Madame Yu is the ancestor of the Yu family. As long as she speaks about the Yu family's affairs, no one will object. In that case, there is no need to think of other ways, just directly find Madame Yu. Just 1 minute after the message was sent, Lin Mo received a reply from Madame Yu. Lin Mo reopened his eyes, looked at Yu Zu who was full of expectations, and smiled. Solved. Chapter 1783. Unconsciously began to look down. Yu Ju's eyes were as bright as a star at this moment. Really? Lin Mo smiled slightly. When have I ever lied to you? Your father won't force you anymore in the future. As long as you don't agree, the entire Yu family won't force you. Although Yu Zu believed Lin Mo, she was full of questions at the moment. Just now, it was only a little over a minute, Lin Mo closed his eyes, obviously in the Human Emperor network. In her opinion, the great difficulty was so easily resolved by Lin Mo. She knew her father's character. Her father was stubborn, and wanted to be called an old stubborn. Once he decides something, even a dragon can't pull him back. Yu Zu was full of doubts. Captain, what did you do? Lin Mo smiled mysteriously. You should know soon. Come, pour tea. Yu Ju's delicate brows squeezed out a Sichuan character, but she still carefully poured tea for Lin Mo. Lin Mo stopped talking, just waiting quietly. In less than half a minute, Yu Zu suddenly shook, her eyes closed naturally. Lin Mo knew that she had received information from the Human Emperor network. Yu Zu closed her eyes, her eyebrows were full of shock. Lin Mo slowly sipped his tea, no longer drinking tea, but carefully tasting it. His state of mind gradually slowed down, unhurried. The aura of the previous great battle gradually disappeared, becoming weaker and weaker, until it disappeared. In a trance, Lin Mo suddenly felt that he had a transcendent mentality. Since when? I can look down and treat many things. Perhaps my realm is not high enough, but the people and things I have come into contact with, and the enemies I have slain, are already completely different from others. Unconsciously, I began to look down. Things that headache Yu Ju, I can solve in 2 sentences, without any difficulty. Some small actions of my own can affect the fate of others. It seems that everything around me is firmly in my grasp. Strength. Countless people are obsessed with strength, because strength brings unimaginable power. In the mortal world, people admire imperial power, and cultivators pursue higher realms. In the end, it's all for looking down. It's a pity, this is not what I want. Lin Mo's soul gently stroked the coffin of slumber. In this coffin of slumber made by himself, 4 beloved wives are sleeping quietly in it. Time is stagnant for them, waiting for him to wake them up. Lin Mo's thoughts returned, and he saw a pair of bright eyes. There were 3 points of admiration and 7 points of affection in the eyes. Lin Mo had a moment of trance. Ning Yi once looked at him with such eyes. Captain, how did you do it? Yu Ju's melodious voice sounded. Lin Mo could roughly guess Yu Ju's experience just now. Solved it. Yu Ju nodded her head vigorously. Solved it. The ancestor personally contacted me, saying that I will only listen to myself in the future, and I don't even need to listen to my father. The ancestor has the final say in our Yu family. No one dares to disobey, even my father has to listen to the ancestor. Captain, but how did you do it? Lin Mo smiled. I just told Madame Yu about your matter, and Madame Yu said she would handle it and let you rest assured. How could Yu Ju not hear that Lin Mo was perfunctory, but she was very smart and would not ask questions. Now Yu Ju is in a very wonderful mood. The big thing that has been bothering her is finally solved, and she doesn't have to worry about it anymore. Lin Mo put down the teacup. Okay, it's time to get down to business. I have a batch of things to trade here, a lot of things. As soon as she returned to her old business, Yuju became professional. You never have few things, but as usual, you give me the most precious things first, and I will give you a valuation first. Lin Mo didn't know which things were the most precious, there were too many storage props, he didn't check them one by one at all. He took out a few storage props, including the storage props of the Abyss Dragon Demon, and some belonging to the Peak Divine Venerable. Thinking about these things, they should be the most precious. Each storage prop is stained with the breath of its owner's life. Lin Mo has only obtained them for a short time, and the breath has not completely dissipated. Yuju was impacted by the breath, her small face suddenly turned pale, and she was slightly injured. Her realm was too poor, the Peak Divine Venerable only needed one look to kill her. Lin Mo flicked a ray of white light onto Yuju, and Yuju felt a little better. Yuju said in shock, "Captain, these things are so terrifying." Lin Mo smiled, "Which one do you think is the most terrifying?" After carefully checking, Yuju pointed to one of them, "I feel this one is the most terrifying." Lin Mo let out a soft laugh, "Good eyesight, this is the storage prop of the Abyss Dragon Demon of the demon race, and it is also the strongest of these divine venerables, Other Shore Realm." Yuju looked at Lin Mo with doubt, "What is Other Shore Realm?" Lin Mo thought for a while, "The realm above the divine venerable, the same level as your family's ancestor." Yuju's whole body stood on end, as if struck by lightning. She couldn't believe Lin Mo's words, "Captain, are you telling the truth?" Lin Mo nodded, "It's true, the others belong to the Peak Divine Venerable." Although it was hard to believe, Yuju still trusted Lin Mo. She stretched out her small hand, picked up the storage prop of the Abyss Dragon Demon. It could be seen that she was very nervous, and her small hand was still shaking. Other Shore Realm, a terrifying guy at the same level as her family's ancestor. Now his storage prop is in her hands. Then where is he? Needless to say, he must be dead. Was he killed by Lin Mo? Lin Mo's combat power is strong to this point. Is this possible? But the storage prop is here, if Lin Mo didn't do it, who else would? Countless question marks popped out of Yuju's little head. 093 She looked at the storage prop, and then looked at Lin Mo. In shock, with 7 points of cuteness. Lin Mo couldn't help but reach out and knock on her head again. "What are you thinking about?" The Abyss Dragon Demon wasn't killed late, it was killed by Senior Zhu. Accurately, it was killed by the token given by Zhu Qiwu. Yuju then reacted, "That makes sense, but Captain is also very powerful, able to fight alongside Senior Zhu." Lin Mo smiled, "Stop talking nonsense, give me a valuation." Yuju said, "Oh, the things here are too precious, they have exceeded my authority. I need to have the elders in the family appraise and identify them together." Lin Mo nodded, "You can handle it. The Yu family controls the trading center, and has an extremely complex and strict set of regulations for the entire transaction. There are detailed rules for what level of treasures can be appraised and valued. Not to mention things from the Other Shore Realm, even things from the Peak Divine Venerable have exceeded Yuju's authority." In fact, Yuju didn't expect that the things Lin Mo brought would be of such a high level. Yuju contacted the elders in the family in the Human Emperor Network. A few seconds later, Yuju said, "Captain, the elders in the family have already rushed over. Captain, you can have a cup of tea, it shouldn't take long to arrive." Lin Mo nodded, "No hurry." At this time, footsteps came from the courtyard, and a middle-aged man appeared outside the pavilion. Chapter 1784. Are you selling the Yu family's daughter? The middle-aged man's name was Yu Chungkang, with a cultivation base of the 7th level of the Divine Venerable, and his appearance was somewhat similar to Yuju. When Yuju saw the person coming, she immediately got up and called out sweetly, "Father." Yu Chungkang snorted, "If I didn't come to you, you wouldn't be planning to come back, right?" Yuju said in a low voice, "How could that be? People just want to experience it outside." Yu Chungkang snorted, "Experience? I think you are clearly trying to escape." He spoke somewhat sternly, but Lin Mo could see that he was very good to Yuju. "Some feelings, no matter what you say, the feelings in your eyes cannot be hidden." Yu Chungkang did not come in, because there were guests in the pavilion. Although the formation had not been activated and the transaction had not officially started, the rules were the rules. When there are guests in the pavilion, only the transaction master and the guests can be inside, and no one is allowed to enter without invitation. Only the transaction master can initiate the invitation. Yu Chungkang looked at Lin Mo. Lin Mo hid the information, but he couldn't hide the aura of the Divine King realm on his body. When Yu Chungkang looked at Lin Mo had already shifted his gaze to Yu Chungkang's side. Standing beside him was a young man. The young man was exactly Song Yi, who Yu Zhu mentioned. Song Yi was handsome and refined, with an extraordinary bearing and remarkably handsome features. Although only a third-order god king, his aura was profound, far surpassing that of ordinary third-order god kings. Lin Moyu guessed that he should possess the ability to challenge opponents above his level, making him a genius. After Song Yi arrived, he remained silent, his gaze fixed on Yu Zhu, his eyes filled with admiration. Alas, the flower longs for the water, but the water has no feelings for the flower. Love requires mutual affection to blossom. Yu Chungkang spoke again. Girl, didn't you see senior brother Song has also come? Why aren't you greeting him? Yu Zhu replied with a listless, oh, and gave a slight bow to Song Yi. Greetings, senior brother Song. Her tone was weak, and even her etiquette was lacking. Yu Chungkang frowned, somewhat displeased, but Song Yi had already spoken. Greetings, junior sister Yu Zhu, long time no see. Backquote. Yu Zhu hummed in response, saying nothing more, but glanced at Yu Chungkang. Her meaning was clear. You told me to greet him, and I have. As for anything further, she would not say it. Yu Chungkang knew his daughter well. Normally, he would have reprimanded her, but with outsiders present, he decided to save Yu Zhu some face. Yu Chungkang looked at Lin Moyu. My young friend, could your transaction be handled by another appraiser? This old man wishes to speak with my daughter. As a dignified high-order god Zun, Yu Chungkang believed that upon hearing his words, a god king like Lin Moyu would surely agree. Unexpectedly, Lin Moyu gently shook his head. I've grown accustomed to trading with Yu Zhu, I'm not used to other appraisers. Yu Chungkang frowned, not expecting Lin Moyu to refuse his request. This young man showed him no respect whatsoever. Possessing good composure, he didn't argue with Lin Moyu but instead said, then please complete your transaction as quickly as possible, my young friend. Lin Moyu shook his head again. No rush, I have many items to trade, and I'm waiting for someone to arrive. Yu Zhu added, yes, we have many valuable items to trade. Father, why don't you wait outside? As for how long we'll be, I don't know. Yu Chungkang's expression became even more stern. Girl, you know some things cannot be avoided. He felt that Yu Zhu and Lin Moyu were cooperating to stall for time. He simply didn't believe that a god king could possess anything valuable to trade. Yu Zhu smiled brightly. Father, I don't intend to avoid it. The ancestor said I can make my own decisions, and you cannot coerce me. Yu Chungkang's expression changed. The ancestor. Yu Zhu nodded. If you don't believe me, you can ask the ancestor. Yu Chungkang snorted. Is the ancestor someone you can ask whenever you please? Yu Zhu didn't care what Yu Chungkang said. Anyway, the ancestor said I can make my own decisions. Senior brother Song Yi, I'll say it again, I don't like you, and I can't marry you. Please go back, and don't come here again. Impudence. Yu Chungkang roared, instinctively moving to barge in. Yu Zhu snorted. Father, don't forget the rules. Yu Chungkang's raised foot came back down. At this moment, Song Yi's expression had become very unsightly. Yu Zhu's blunt rejection had caused him to lose face. It would have been one thing if it were in private, but there was an outsider present. Lin Moyu was leisurely sipping tea, watching the show with a smile, which greatly displeased him. Song Yi struggled to suppress his anger. Junior sister Yu Zhu, I truly like you. Since things had come to this point, Yu Zhu completely let go. You like me, so I have to marry you. Countless people in this world like this young lady. Am I supposed to marry each and every one of them? Have you even lined up? Do you think you can force me just by proposing to my father? Like a stink bug, following me wherever I go, do you even know how annoying you are? Please, go find someone you like, who also likes you, okay? Yu Zhu spoke quickly and urgently, revealing her true colors. Song Yi's expression grew increasingly ugly. Yu Chungkang hadn't expected his daughter to suddenly say such things and was momentarily unable to react. Clap, clap, clap. The sound of clapping suddenly rang out. Lin Moyu clapped his hands. Well said. Matters of the heart should be based on mutual affection. There's no such thing as forcing a marriage. Letting outsiders see this, they might think the Yu family's young lady is unwanted. Yu Chungkang said in a low voice, my young friend, this is a matter for my Yu family. Lin Moyu smiled. I am Yu Zhu's friend, and I think it's only right to say a few words for a friend. Song Yi finally couldn't restrain himself. Brat, do you know the Yu family's status, and what my status is? Lin Moyu laughed. If we're reasoning, then let's reason. If we're talking about love, then let's talk about love. Why are we suddenly discussing status? Yu Zu echoed Lin Moyu's words. Exactly, always talking about status. So what if you're from the Song family? I'm from the Yu family. Could it be that my Yu family is inferior to your Song family? Silence. Yu Chungkang shouted sternly. Yu Ju's words directly brought up the relationship between the Yu family and the Song family. In that case, even he, Yu Chungkang, couldn't bear the responsibility. Yu Chungkang's face was filled with anger. Do you know what you're saying? Yu Zu snorted. Then do you know what you're doing? You're selling your daughter, selling the Yu family's daughter. Yu Ju's words were incredibly sharp. For a moment, Yu Chungkang felt that the daughter before him was somewhat unfamiliar. In his memory, Yu Ju's personality did indeed have a hint of shrewishness, but she wouldn't have said such things. At this moment, he noticed Lin Moyu. When Yu Zu said those words, her gaze unconsciously turned to Lin Moyu. These words, this kid taught you. Yu Chungkang suddenly realized that Yu Ju's strong reaction today must be related to the kid before him. Song Yi didn't seem to realize the seriousness of the problem yet and instinctively said, that's not true. Junior sister Yu Zu misunderstood. Chapter 1785. Besides the captain, I won't marry anyone. Lin Moyu shook his head slightly, as if saying, how young indeed. Now that the problem has been escalated to this level, he's still trying to explain himself. It's truly unwise. The big label of selling the Yu family's daughter is too much for even Yu Chungkang to bear. Yu Chungkang's face flushed red. You brat, do you know what you're saying? Yu Zu snorted. I already told you before, the ancestor said I can decide who to marry, but you didn't believe me. Then don't blame me. In my opinion, you're just selling your daughter. For the sake of your so-called affection, completely disregarding your daughter's happiness, I am a member of the Yu family, so you are selling the Yu family's daughter. The reason why unspoken rules are unspoken rules is because everyone knows them, but they cannot be made public. The unspoken rule of marriage between large families was now being brought to the surface by Yu Zu in another way. And every sentence was reasonable, and Yu Chungkang couldn't refute it. At this moment, Yu Chungkang's face had become extremely unsightly. He glared at his daughter but couldn't say a word in rebuttal. Lin Moyu leisurely drank his tea, giving Yu Zu an approving look. Yu Chungkang said, I am doing this for your own good. Yu Zu said coldly, that reason is too high-sounding. Unfortunately, I don't accept it. I already have someone I like. If you truly want what's best for me, father, then don't stop me. Everyone's happiness must be fought for. I will fight for my own happiness, without regret. After Yu Zu said these words, she turned to look at Lin Moyu, revealing a beautiful smile. Their eyes met. Lin Moyu's expression also changed slightly, with some surprise, some unexpectedness, and even some headache. He had indeed taught Yu Zu a few of those sentences. He knew that even if he used Madame Yu's words to suppress him, Yu Chungkang would probably still be unconvinced, and Song Yi would continue to pester her. So, he simply had Yu Zu say it outright, attaching a big label. But these last few sentences, he hadn't taught her. No matter how stupid Song Yi was, he now understood that the reason Yu Zu was acting this way was because she had someone she liked. And that someone was the kid before him. Song Yi instantly turned his attention to Lin Moyu, a pair of eyes like sharp arrows shot at Lin Moyu, gnashing his teeth, it's you. His good upbringing prevented him from saying anything too vulgar. But the anger in his heart was imaginable. Lin Mo sighed, you're playing with fire. These words weren't directed at Song Yi, but at Yu Zu. Yu Zu bit her silver teeth, like a moth to a flame, I'm willing. Lin Mo was a little helpless, but he couldn't refuse Yu Zu now. Otherwise, he would be forcing Yu Zu to her death. Yu Zu was also one of his few friends, and Lin Mo couldn't do such a thing. Sit down. Lin Mo motioned for Yu Zu to sit down. Yu Zu was very obedient, immediately sat down, and made tea for Lin Mo. In this way, Song Yi was even more furious, his eyes were enough to kill. Lin Mo looked at Song Yi, forced melons are not sweet, you should give up. Song Yi gritted his teeth, what are you? He wanted to rush in and kill Lin Mo, but Yu Chungkang stood in front of him. Rules are rules, the bottom line of the Yu family. No matter how angry Yu Chungkang was, the rules could not be broken. Lin Mo said softly, for the sake of your family's ancestor, I won't bother with you. Song Yi sneered, "What are you? Why do you need to give face to my ancestor? Get out of here, I want to teach you a lesson." Lin Mo shook his head, didn't want to talk nonsense with Song Yi anymore, and turned to look at Yu Chungkang. "Senior, you are Yu Ju's father, I am Yu Ju's friend, then I will also respect you. You should ask Madam Yu about this matter. To say something unpleasant, with me here, you can't force Yu Zu. If I want to take Yu Zu away, you can't stop me either." Lin Mo spoke slowly as if it were a matter of course, his voice was not loud, but it was very powerful. Yu Chungkang felt the aura of a superior from Lin Mo. In an instant, he felt that he might have misunderstood something. The young man in front of him was basically not a god king, but a god lord, or even a god lord stronger than himself. After Lin Mo finished speaking, he didn't say anything more, took the teacup Yu Zu handed over, and slowly sipped the tea. Song Yi, who was on the side, was about to explode with anger. He wanted to say something, but Yu Chungkang stopped him. Yu Chungkang said, "Don't worry, I'll ask the ancestor." Song Yi could only suppress his temper. Yu Chungkang was his elder, and he couldn't refute him. Yu Chungkang used the Human Emperor network to contact Madame Yu. As a high-level god lord of the Yu family, he could indeed contact Madame Yu. But usually, they wouldn't take the initiative to contact their ancestor if there was nothing important. His expression changed from serious to astonished, very complicated. Yu Zu saw it and snorted, "It would have been better to contact her earlier, but you just wouldn't listen." Lin Mo smiled, "People always like to speak and act according to their own experience, and they don't pay much attention to what the weak say." Yu Zu snorted, "He's always like this, a chauvinist. He doesn't listen to me or my mother at all." Lin Mo smiled, "Isn't it good now? Madam Yu will tell him the answer. But you, saying such things, aren't you afraid that you won't be able to marry in the future?" Yu Zu mustered up her courage, "Except for the captain, I don't want to marry anyone. If the captain doesn't want me, then I'll be alone for the rest of my life." These words were decisive, and Lin Mo could naturally understand that Yu Zu wasn't joking. At this moment, he couldn't give Yu Zu any answer. Several minutes later, Yu Chungkang reopened his eyes. His gaze was extremely complicated, looking at Yu Zu, then at Lin Mo. His mouth opened, but he didn't know what to say. Song Yi asked nervously, "Uncle, what did Madame Yu say?" Yu Zu snorted, "What else can she say? I've already said it before, I'm in charge of my own marriage. Anyway, I won't marry you, give up." Yu Chungkang sighed, "The ancestor ordered me not to interfere in Yu Ju's marriage." At this moment, there was a sense of relief. It seemed that some burden had been lifted. Song Yi's body trembled, "This is impossible, our two families have been friends for generations, and there have been many marriages. Madame Yu would not disagree. There must be something wrong, I'll go find my ancestor, I'll let my ancestor talk to Madame Yu." Yu Chungkang didn't say anything, he couldn't say anything now. Neither the Song family's ancestor nor his own ancestor was someone he could offend. He looked at Lin Mo with an extremely complicated expression, but found that he couldn't see through this young man. At this time, there were footsteps again, and someone walked over. The person who came was dignified and graceful, with an unspeakable temperament between her lotus steps, and her appearance was even more beautiful. Song Yi, who was still extremely angry in the previous second, could no longer move his gaze after it fell on her. The person who came seemed to have boundless magic, attracting everyone's attention. Lin Mo also gave a look of appreciation. This person was one of the most charming female cultivators he had ever seen. However, Lin Mo was purely appreciative, without a trace of other colors. Yu Chungkang immediately cupped his hands and saluted when he saw the person coming. "Chungkang has met Aunt Cheng." Yu Bingqing nodded, walked past Yu Chungkang, and entered the pavilion. She bowed gracefully to Lin Mo. "Bingqing has met Mr. Lin." The two words, Mr. Ellen uttered from Lin Bingqing's mouth were like a thunderbolt, splitting Yu Chungkang to a crisp. Yu Bingqing and Madame Yu were of the same generation, only one generation lower than Madame Yu, and one generation higher than him. Yu Bingqing has the realm of a peak god lord. It is said that she will be able to complete the breakthrough in a few years and reach the same realm as Madame Yu, becoming the second ancestor of the Yu family. Regardless of the reason, Yu Bingqing has an extraordinary position in the Yu family, far beyond what he can compare. Usually, Yu Bingqing is in charge of the Yu family's transactions in the 4-star regions. When Madame Yu does not show up, she is the person in charge of the Yu family in the 4-star regions. But such a person called Lin Mo Mr. and was very humble. Yu Chungkang was messed up in the wind. He felt that he had been in seclusion for too long. How did this world become different? He thought of what Lin Mo had said earlier, their transaction was very valuable and they were waiting for someone. Unexpectedly, the person waiting was Yu Bingqing. What kind of transaction would require such a person to come forward? The formation in the pavilion was activated, and layers of light curtains fell, covering the entire pavilion. Yu Chungkang looked at the pavilion with a complicated expression, and after a moment of silence, he said to Song Yi beside him, "Nephew, you should go back first. We will discuss the matter about you and Zhu too." Song Yi's mood was also complicated at the moment, and he said in a low voice, "Okay, then I will trouble uncle." He had already made up his mind to find his ancestor. He knew very well that only his ancestor could come forward in this situation to give him hope. Song Yi left, while Yu Chungkang stood there motionless, waiting quietly. Lin Mo is a god king, he would never be wrong. Then the problem lies in Lin Mo's identity. He really wanted to know what Lin Mo's identity was, that he could directly talk to Madame Yu, and Yu Bingqing had to call him Mr. Inside the pavilion, Yu Zhu introduced Yu Bingqing's identity to Lin Mo. Lin Mo got up and saluted Yu Bingqing. "Lin Mo has met Senior." Yu Bingqing quickly avoided Lin Mo's salute. "Mr. is joking, Bingqing can't afford your salute." As one of the high-level executives and power holders of the Yu family, she knows a lot of information. She knows that Madame Yu interacts with Lin Mo as an equal, so of course she can't accept the salute of such a person. Lin Mo didn't force it and directly got to the point, "Then please ask Senior to appraise and evaluate the price." Yu Bingqing nodded, walked to Yu Zhu's side, and sat side by side with Yu Zhu. She first picked up the Abyss Dragon Demon's storage magic weapon and carefully sensed it. It is indeed a storage magic weapon of the other shore realm. Demon race, Abyss Dragon Demon line, there is only one guy who has become the other shore. However, he was severely injured in a battle thousands of years ago, and hasn't appeared since. I didn't expect that he would die at your hands, sir. Yu Bingqing's words carried a hint of reminiscence, clearly indicating that she had participated in that battle back then. Yu Zhu softly asked, "Grand Ancestor Qing, why did you fight that year?" Yu Bingqing lovingly stroked Yu Zhu's little head. "You weren't even born yet at the time. I was only a god king then, and I only heard about the battle. I didn't personally participate in it, so I'm not very clear about the reasons behind it." As she spoke, she opened her storage treasure, taking out the items inside one by one, and began to appraise and evaluate them. Only someone like her could give accurate prices for good items left behind by those at the other shore realm or peak god venerable level. Yu Bingqing moved quickly, very familiar with each item and material, able to quickly and accurately give prices. While giving the prices, she would also briefly explain the uses and levels, so that Lin Mo could understand everything clearly. In just over 10 minutes, the Abyss Dragon Demon's relics had been cleared. Then Yu Bingqing began to clear the relics of the various peak god venerables, still at a fast pace. Judging from the unit prices she gave, the collections of the peak god venerables were much worse than those of the other shore realm. Different realms, different things encountered, this was the normal situation. 2 hours later, the relics of more than a dozen peak god venerables had also been cleared. Yu Bingqing said, "Most of Sir's items are from foreign races. If our human race wants to use them, it will take a lot of effort and cost. So the value needs to be discounted accordingly." After Bingqing's calculations, our Yu family can offer 4.8 billion points for these spoils of war. 4.8 billion points was already an astronomical figure for most cultivators. Many weak cultivators were still struggling for a few hundred points. Lin Mo's harvest, however, was already counted in the billions. 4.8 billion points was even higher than the wealth of a god venerable. Lin Mo nodded, "No problem, let's trade with 4.8 billion points." Yu Bingqing smiled, "Okay, I'll have someone transfer the points to you, sir." Lin Mo stopped her, "Please wait, Senior, this is only part of this transaction." Yu Bingqing was stunned. She sat down again after just about to get up. "Then let's continue, and we'll settle everything together after the transaction is over." Lin Mo gently tapped the table, and in an instant, a large number of storage treasures flew out. The storage treasures were of various shapes, piled together, forming a small mountain. Moreover, Lin Mo had no intention of stopping at all, and continued to release them. Yu Zhu covered her little mouth, her eyes full of surprise. "How can there be so many?" Yu Bingqing waved her hand, and the formation in the pavilion suddenly changed, and the space quickly expanded. The ice pavilion's formation had a variety of functions, and expanding the space was one of them, but it was rarely turned on weekdays. Lin Mo was like a bottomless pit, with an inexhaustible supply of storage treasures. Yu Bingqing's expression was complicated. Each storage treasure represented a strong person. How many people had Lin Mo killed? She could feel that the owners of these storage treasures included god venerables, god kings, and also true gods. Among them, god kings were the majority. Moreover, the storage treasures of the Golden Eagle clan were the majority. Yu Bingqing thought of something that had happened in the Xuanwu battlefield not long ago. Lin Mo piled the magic weapons into a small mountain, and when he felt that it was almost piled up, he changed places and continued to pile. So in the space of the pavilion, a second small mountain appeared. Then the third pile, the fourth pile, the fifth pile. Until 10 small mountains appeared, Lin Mo finally stopped taking out new storage treasures. 10 small mountains, each with at least 100,000 storage treasures. In other words, there were more than 1 million storage treasures alone. Yu Zhu was already dumbfounded at the moment, her small mouth open, unable to speak. That look was indeed a bit cute. Even Yu Bingqing, who was well informed, twitched her eyelids. Sir, what a grand gesture. Lin Mo smiled slightly. Sorry to trouble you, senior. Yu Bingqing suddenly lowered her voice. Sir, not long ago in the Xuanwu battlefield. Before she could finish speaking, Lin Mo nodded. It was me, please keep it a secret, senior. Yu Bingqing took a deep breath. Don't worry, sir, my Yu family will definitely keep our mouths shut. As she spoke, she issued an order and called for more traders to come over. The first 1787th chapter. It seems there are still many poor people. Yu Chengkang, who was waiting outside the pavilion, suddenly looked up towards the end of the backyard. Figures appeared there, wearing similar clothes, with similar outfits. All of them were women. In the Yu family, the division of labor between women and men was completely different. The trading center was managed by women, and the traders were all women. The men were responsible for other family affairs. Yu Chengkang knew that the people who came now were all traders, a full 50 of them. The traders passed by Yu Chengkang and entered the pavilion where Lin Mo was. Yu Chengkang's eyelids kept twitching, and his heart was beating non-stop. With so many traders needed, how big will this transaction be? He once again thought of what Lin Mo had said, that this transaction was not only precious, but also very large in quantity. It seemed that what Lin Mo said was true, but Yu Chengkang never thought that the quantity would be so large. It actually required the mobilization of 50 traders, which was probably all the traders in Fortress No. 1. What kind of transaction is it? Yu Chengkang was very puzzled, his curiosity rising, but unfortunately he couldn't know. The formation of the pavilion blocked his curiosity. Inside the pavilion, 50 traders, looking at the 10 small mountains of storage treasures, were also stunned on the spot, unable to speak for a long time. Yu Bingqing instructed, you 50 people, 5 people in a group, each choose a pile. The 50 traders took their orders at the same time and immediately took action. Yu Bingqing then drank tea and chatted with Lin Mo about some trivial matters. Yu Zhu served by the side, never interjecting, very well behaved. Yu Bingqing's chat was very skillful, never involving Lin Mo's secrets, just talking about Lin Mo's experiences. Lin Mo knew that this was a true master. From seemingly inadvertent details, one could infer a lot of information. Moreover, Yu Bingqing's voice was soft and would not make people feel annoyed. While answering, Lin Mo would also ask about things he didn't know, such as the world outside the star field. Yu Bingqing had lived for thousands of years, and her experiences and things she had heard were far richer than his. He could gain a lot from it. Not everything could be found in the Human Emperor network. Through chatting with Yu Bingqing, Lin Mo obtained some information about the world outside the human race. The Great World was very large, no one knew how big it was. It was said that no one had ever reached the edge of the Great World. The human race's star field only occupied a very small area in the Great World. However, most of the Great World was a void. There were few stars, or even none. Starlight could radiate countless light years, and the longer the distance, the weaker the starlight. In many places in the Great World, even starlight could not reach. This place was not a dark void, but truly barren and remote. But it was in this barren and remote place that countless dangers and countless opportunities were hidden. Someone once found a cave in a remote void. This cave dwelling was the dwelling of a powerful cultivator in ancient times. He went through life and death in the cave, and finally obtained the inheritance of that powerful cultivator. When he entered, he was only a god king, but when he came out, he was already a peak god venerable. He returned to the divine city, established a sect, and soon advanced to the other shore. Stories like this are countless. Some people get opportunities, and some people are very unfortunate. Many people disappeared into the vast starry sky and never returned. In the chat with Yu Bingqing, Lin Mo also obtained an important piece of information. It is said that the god of war Xiao Zontian also traveled to the world outside the star field, and traveled for many years. Later, he was able to soar into the sky and save the human race from fire and water, which was also inseparable from his travels in those years. Later, Xiao Zontian founded the Temple of War. He once ordered that people in the Temple of War must travel outside the star field after reaching the God King realm. Yu Bingqing just told Lin Mo as a story, these things are not secrets. Because there is no evidence, it cannot be verified, and it can only be regarded as a story. But it is true that people in the Temple of War need to travel outside the star field after the God King realm. Moreover, there is a teleportation array in the Temple of War that leads to the outer domain, which is also true. Yu Bingqing once borrowed it once. In the conversation with Yu Bingqing, Lin Mo reacquainted himself with the world outside the human race and initially appreciated the mystery of the big world. The big world is very big, and all races are hidden in various places in the big world. Except for a few known powerful races, their territories have been locked. There are more small races, and their star fields are still unknown. In the distant places, there may be more unknown races. With the joint efforts of 50 appraisers, after 2 full days, the appraisal and valuation were finally completed. The final price was also summarized to Yu Bingqing's hands. Yu Bingqing said to the 50 appraisers, "Today's events, after leaving this trading room, must all be forgotten. You all know the rules of the family, there is no need for me to remind you again." The 50 people immediately responded in unison, "Yes, ma'am." The 50 people left one after another, coming and going the same way, without making any sound, showing the strict family rules of the Yu family. The trading room returned to silence again. Yu Bingqing said softly, "Sir, the total amount has come out. Your single transaction amount has exceeded the highest record of our Yu family." Yu Zhu couldn't help but let out a soft cry. "Qingzu, I remember the highest single transaction amount was 15.8 billion points." Yu Bingqing nodded slightly. "Zhu girl remembers correctly, but that transaction record was actually a transaction of the Heavenly Sword sect. After a great battle, they summarized all the spoils of the entire sect and conducted a single transaction." Yu Zhu said, "Oh, Qingzu, what is the transaction amount today?" Previously, each trader sent the amount to Yu Bingqing through the Human Emperor network. Except for Yu Bingqing, no one knew the exact number. Yu Bingqing smiled slightly. "Including the previous 4.8 billion, the total is 32.6 billion. She kept looking at Lin Mo when she reported the number. To her disappointment, Lin Mo was drinking tea on his own. After hearing this amazing number, he didn't even react at all, and he didn't have the slightest excitement. She didn't know if Lin Mo was pretending to be calm, or if he really didn't feel anything. At this moment, Lin Mo sighed softly. "It seems that there are still many poor people." Without counting the previous 4.8 billion, the millions of storage magic weapons afterwards only exchanged for 27.8 billion points. The average value of the materials and items in each storage magic weapon is only 27,800 points, less than 30,000 points. If the storage magic weapons of the gods are removed, the remaining average will be even less. It is enough to see how poor those guys are. Just like in the human race, some people can fight to the death for hundreds of points, and his every transaction costs hundreds of millions, and even this time it broke the record, exceeding 30 billion. This is the unevenness of the world. There is no absolute fairness in any race. Lin Mo said calmly, "I have no objection to this amount, let's trade according to 32.6 billion. In addition, I want to buy something." Chapter 1788 People will only wait for the captain. Lin Mo said what he wanted to buy. Yu Bingqing frowned slightly after hearing this. "The things you want may not be easy to find. I will let the family try to find them, which may take some time." Lin Mo smiled and said, "I'm not in a hurry, contact me when you have it. Do you want to pay a deposit?" Yu Bingqing quickly shook her head. No need, with your credit, even the most expensive things don't need a deposit. Lin Mo smiled slightly, thank you, senior. The transaction was completed. Lin Mo obtained 32.6 billion points, and at the same time he could obtain 3.26 million military merits. Lin Mo already didn't know how many military merits he had now. This time, he perfectly completed the Divine City promotion mission, killing millions of Golden Eagle tribe members, including 20 Divine Venerables. Later, he also killed a large number of Demon tribe members on the Suzaku battlefield, and there should be military merits. Because of the existence of the promotion mission, his military merits have not been settled temporarily, and will be settled together when he returns to the Divine City. But without counting the above military merits, the 3.26 million military merits obtained from the transaction alone are enough for him to be promoted to general. However, to be promoted to general, you also need to complete a promotion mission. Lin Mo didn't know what the promotion mission was. Outside the pavilion, Yu Chungkang, who had been waiting for 3 days, suddenly saw Yu Bingqing walking out from inside. The formation was still activated, and he couldn't see the situation inside. Yu Bingqing stopped when she passed Yu Chungkang. Chungkang, Zhu Girl's vision is much better than yours. You don't have to worry about Zhu Girl's marriage anymore. No matter what happens in the future, it's Zhu Girl's own choice. That's what the ancestor meant, you should understand. I know you have a good relationship with Song Ren, but sometimes, unrequited love is unrequited. By the way, Zhu Girl and Mr. have already left, you don't have to continue waiting here. As for when to come back, it depends on Zhu Girl's own meaning. With Mr. present, she will be fine. Yu Chungkang asked in a low voice, Aunt Qing, what is the origin of that Mr.? Yu Bingqing said, you will naturally know what Mr.'s identity is in the future. I can only tell you that the ancestor and Mr. are on equal footing. So if this matter is successful, you have taken a big advantage, understand? After finishing speaking, Yu Bingqing left without stopping. The formation of the pavilion was removed, and it was already empty inside. The pavilion is a trading room, with a teleportation array inside, which can be left directly after the transaction is completed. Yu Chungkang sighed a long time, and finally left. When leaving, he murmured, the daughter is old, I can't control her. Suzaku Star Territory, number 98 Life Star System. This is the first star system Lin Mo arrived at after entering the Great World. The initial registration and tasks were all completed in this star system. No, 98 Life Star System can also be regarded as Lin Mo's starting point in the Great World. Lin Mo and Yu Zhu appeared in the teleportation array at the same time. Yu Zhu blinked curiously, this is the star system where the captain first came. In fact, Yu Zhu spent most of her time in the trading center after leaving the Divine City, and later went to the battlefield but still stayed in the trading center for a long time. In fact, she doesn't know much about the outside world. The 4 great star regions in the Divine City are still very different. Lin Mo sent a message to Ren Chang, but he didn't get a response for a long time. Judging from the feedback from the Human Emperor Network, Ren Chang is still alive. Most likely he is doing a mission, or in closed-door cultivation. Originally, Lin Mo wanted to find Ren Chang for a drink, but now he can't find him. The two flew away from Life Star System 98 and towards Small World 3344. Small World *, located on the edge of the human race star territory, has nothing else besides a small world. It has basically entered a no-man's land. People from other races can come over, as long as they don't go deeper, the human race won't care. Lin Mo summoned the Golden Eagle Clan God Venerable Slave, used it as a mount, activated Space Leap, and took the two of them to fly forward at high speed. Yu Zhu stepped on the Golden Eagle Clan God Venerable, her curiosity reaching its peak. Wow, Captain, you actually use the Golden Eagle Clan God Venerable as a mount. Lin Mo said calmly, it's quite useful. Yu Zhu chuckled, this is the dream of many people, but they can only think about it. Captain is still amazing, turning other people's dreams into reality. Lin Mo looked ahead, your choice may not be the right one. Yu Zhu twisted a little, whether it's right or wrong is my own business. Anyway, I've already decided, I won't marry anyone but the captain in this life. I don't want to pester the captain, I just want to follow the captain and see the world. When will the captain return to Divine City? Yu Zhu will also return to the Yu family. If the captain still remembers Yu Zhu, come and see me when you have time. If you don't remember, then forget it. Anyway, Yuzu will always be waiting at home. Lin Mo was also a little helpless. Yuzu was also his friend. He had actually made it very clear, but Yuzu still didn't care, which made Lin Mo even more headache. For Lin Mo, it would be better to go to the battlefield to kill enemies. From Yuzu's eyes, Lin Mo could feel deep affection. This time, she said she wanted to follow him out for a walk, and when he returned to Divine City, she would go back with him. This kind of request is really hard to refuse. After the two left the pavilion by teleportation array, they first went to the military merit office to receive the military merits obtained from trading points. A full 3.26 million military merits, the soldier at the military merit office was taken aback. Then he left the battlefield and returned to the Vermilion Bird Star territory. During this period, Lin Mo wanted to accept the task of being promoted to general, but was told that he could not accept it because his Divine City task had not been completed. Lin Mo was not in a hurry about this. Back in the Vermilion Bird Star territory, Lin Mo wanted to go to his small world to take a look. He would not return to his small world, because Antares had warned him not to come back. Lin Mo 973 just wanted to take a look. In Divine City, he saw the ancient battlefield, and in the ancient battlefield, he saw the traces left by Meng Anwen. All of this, like a huge mystery, has always troubled him. From time to time, Lin Mo would think of the scene he saw in the ancient battlefield. The broken Divine Sha Tower, although he knew it was just a replica, it really was the Divine Sha Tower. Concerning Meng Anwen, Lin Mo was very concerned. Lin Mo fell into his own thoughts. Yuzu stood obediently aside, not disturbing Lin Mo. He looked at the rapidly receding starry sky around him. The starry sky was distorted when moving rapidly. That scene was like teleportation, but it was different from teleportation. It was very novel. The closer he got to his small world, the clearer Lin Mo's perception became. An invisible aura radiated from his body, and through a special channel, it connected with the small world. This was a unique ability belonging to him, the master of this world. Even if he left his small world, as long as he was within a certain distance, he could sense it. If he was in the small world, he could control the power of the world and control the world at will. He was getting closer and closer to his hometown, but there was no feeling of being timid when approaching home, only nostalgia. Nostalgia for the people in his hometown, nostalgia for the things in his hometown, and that indecent dragon. Be careful, Yuzu exclaimed. A dazzling golden light shot straight at them. Lin Mo's heart moved, and the mount under him immediately shifted thousands of miles to avoid the attack. Chapter 1789. Don't worry, I won't kill you. Seeing the attacker, it was a Golden Eagle Clan god Venerable. This Golden Eagle Clan god Venerable, holding a sharp bow, was aiming at him. His eyes were filled with anger and killing intent, and Lin Mo also knew why he attacked. His clansman was being used as a mount, it would be strange if he wasn't angry. Behind him, further away, there were several god Venerable existences. They came from various races, including the Bull Demon Clan, the Flying Python Clan, and the Demon Clan, etc. This area seemed to have become a no-fighting zone. Several god Venerables who were obviously hostile races could coexist peacefully here. Lin Mo knew that due to some special reasons, there was always a group of god Venerables surrounding the outside of his small world. They seemed to be coveting a treasure in the small world. But they were also afraid of the small world and dared not enter. However, according to the rules of the Great World, God Venerables cannot enter the small world. The power of the God Venerables is too strong. Once they enter the small world, it is very likely that the small world will collapse directly. The small world cannot bear the power of the God Venerables. But Antares can stay inside safely, which is really strange. It can only be said that his small world is very unique, so unique that Lin Mo cannot understand it. Be careful. The Golden Eagle Clan god Venerable shot arrows again. This time, he shot 100 arrows, and 100 golden lights shot over the sky. The mount under Lin Mo's feet once again flew him thousands of kilometers in an instant, avoiding the attack. But the sharp arrows turned their heads sharply, and their speed suddenly increased, and they came to him in an instant. The arrows carried terrible pressure, and Yuzu was frightened and pale. Don't be afraid, it's okay. Lin Mo's understatement made Yuzu feel at ease for no reason. A golden sword appeared in his hand, and with a light wave, it lit up a golden light that was more brilliant than the arrow light. A golden shield appeared, blocking the sharp arrows. The dark starry sky was illuminated. In the golden light, Lin Mo flew out with Yuzu, and at the same time, he pointed his finger at the Golden Eagle clan god Venerable. Fusion spell, Bone Hell. Bone Hell emerged out of thin air, covering the Golden Eagle clan god Venerable. The slaves in Hell immediately attacked the Golden Eagle clan god Venerable, and at the same time, undead flames fell like meteors. What is this? The Golden Eagle clan god Venerable snorted disdainfully, and shot hundreds of arrows casually. The Hell slaves fell under the sharp arrows one after another. Marking completed, Lin Mo smiled at the corner of his mouth, and a piece of minced meat appeared in his hand. The minced meat also exuded a strong god Venerable pressure, and its owner was a third-order god Venerable before his death. The Golden Eagle clan god Venerable in front of him was also a third-order god Venerable. The Golden Eagle clan god Venerable suddenly felt an ominous feeling. Danger! Danger! A dangerous message kept coming from his soul. His hair stood on end, and his golden feathers stood upside down. The soul of the god Venerable is powerful, and the sixth sense is often very sensitive. This time, he also predicted the danger, but it was one step late. Boom! In the violent explosion, he was blown to pieces, his flesh collapsed, his wings were broken, and his soul was destroyed in the explosion. A dignified third-order god Venerable of the Golden Eagle clan was so easily killed. Some of the onlookers in the distance instantly changed their expressions. They had originally wanted to see how the Golden Eagle clan's god Venerable would kill this human clan's god king. But now, the Golden Eagle clan's god Venerable was instantly killed. The situation reversed too quickly. This guy isn't a god king. He should be a high-rank god Venerable, using a special magic treasure to conceal his aura. It must be, look at his shield, I felt the power of rules from it. The god Venerables from various races watching the show all carried fear. In their eyes, Lin Mo was at least a high-rank god Venerable, otherwise how could he easily kill the Golden Eagle clan's god Venerable? Lin Mo put away the Bone Hell. The Golden Eagle clan's god Venerable who had just died had become a slave of the Bone Hell, but unfortunately, he failed to retain the ability to leap through space. Now in the Bone Hell, there are a total of 5 Golden Eagle clan god Venerables. Originally, Lin Mo wanted to collect some peak god Venerables as thugs, but unfortunately, the power of the peak god Venerables was too strong. The Bone Hell would be smashed to pieces in seconds, unable to collect them at all. The spells were still God King Realm spells, and Lin Mo also knew that he couldn't push it too hard. Yuju's eyes sparkled with little stars, Captain is so strong. A god Venerable at the 3rd level was so easily killed. Lin Mo only raised his fingers twice. Lin Mo's strength had completely surpassed Yuju's imagination. This little fangirl has been upgraded again and has become a big fangirl. Lin Mo flew over with Yuzu, came outside the small world, and swept his gaze over the god Venerables. There were still 8 god Venerables present, and when their eyes met Lin Mo's, they actually felt fear. Even the Demon Clan's god Venerable, who had an irreconcilable feud with the human clan, didn't dare to fart at this moment, and even had the urge to turn around and run away. Lin Mo looked at them, don't worry, I won't kill you. But the premise is, don't fight me. As he spoke, his soul moved slightly, and a soul pressure belonging to the other shore realm naturally emanated. In an instant, all the god Venerables present broke out in cold sweat. The soul pressure of the other shore realm made them feel like they were in an abyss. They smiled ingratiatingly on the spot, Senior, don't worry, we will never seek death. Senior has a broad mind, great benevolence, and great righteousness. They complimented one after another, even the Demon Clan's god Venerable was like this. In order to save their lives, face and such were not important. Lin Mo stopped talking and looked at the small world instead. Yuzu stood quietly beside Lin Mo, not disturbing him. Although there were alien god Venerables all around, with Lin Mo present, she felt very at ease and not afraid at all. In her eyes, Lin Mo's figure was so tall and stalwart, enough to block all storms. Lin Mo looked as if he was observing the small world, but in fact, he was mobilizing the power of the world to sense the small world. He did not enter the small world, and the power of the world was not like eyes, unable to clearly see the picture. He could only understand the state of the entire world through perception. The world was running smoothly, which meant that the entire world was in a healthy state of development. The power of the world was recovering slowly after being repeatedly damaged in the past, and it would take at least 1,000 years to recover. But being able to recover was a good thing, and Lin Mo was not in a hurry. Then he sensed the aura belonging to the gods. Before he left, He had allocated a place for the gods, specifically for the gods to live in, separating the gods from ordinary people. Normally, the gods would not have any interaction with ordinary people. But even if interactions occurred, the impact would not be too great. The gods all had good personalities and did not have too much greed for power. After that, the aura of the human clan was also sensed by him. The aura of the human clan was calm and peaceful, indicating that there were no wars. Unfortunately, he could only see to this extent and could not sense it too carefully. Lin Moi tried to sense the ancient battlefield. The ancient battlefield was a fragment of space connected to the main world but independent of it. The power of the world penetrated into the ancient battlefield. In an instant, a deafening voice resounded in the soul, and his connection with the power of the world was instantly severed. Diaresis close corner bracket get out. Lin Moi heard that it was Antares's voice. This guy's condition seemed to be a bit off. Lin Moi's heart tightened. He wanted to check again. Suddenly, the space in front of him shattered, and a dragon breath spewed out from the space, blasting him tens of thousands of kilometers away. Chapter 1790 Unconscious Death. The dragon's breath was extremely terrifying. Wherever it passed, the space collapsed, and the terrifying power of rules raged wantonly in the starry sky. The god venerables who were originally surrounding the small world were all trembling with fear and turned around to flee. Lin Moi was blasted back tens of thousands of kilometers before finally stabilizing himself. Yu Zhu hid behind Lin Moi, clinging to him, and asked nervously, "Captain, are you okay?" In her opinion, Lin Moi had blocked the attack for her. She had been frightened and lost her reaction just now. The sudden attack was much more terrifying than that of a god venerable. Lin Moi said softly, "I'm fine." At this moment, Lin Moi's expression was extremely complicated. He was indeed fine and not injured at all. The attack seemed fierce, but when it landed on him, it was just a terrible thrust that did not cause him any harm. That seemingly terrible power directly drilled into his body and then condensed a dragon head in his soul. Antares's dragon head. Looking at the familiar head, Lin Moi was filled with mixed feelings. Antares's position in his mind was like a family member, a teacher, and was no different from Bai Yiyuan, Mengen, and others. The gate of the soul world was opened for Antares, and Lin Moi's soul smiled, "Long time no see." Antares glanced at Lin Moi's soul and suddenly let out a strange cry, "You brat, you've actually reached the other shore realm." Lin Moi smiled slightly, "My cultivation realm is still God King, but my soul has reached the other shore first." Antares stared, "You really are a freak. Alright, I don't have much time, so let's make it short. First of all, I'm fine, so you don't have to worry. Secondly, get the hell out of here as soon as possible, the further the better, this place is not safe. Also, I will come to find you after I come out. You don't have to worry about how I find you. Anyway, I have a way to find you. We'll talk about everything then. Finally, let me tell you, don't take shortcuts when breaking through to the other shore realm. Never take shortcuts. Your cultivation speed is too fast. Remember, you can't take shortcuts, not even if you die." After saying that, the dragon head dissipated. The previous attack was just a facade. Antares's real intention was to make himself stay away from the small world and then say a few words to himself. Antares was very anxious, and something seemed to be happening that made it difficult for him to concentrate. Lin Moi couldn't figure it out for a while. But he had already remembered Antares's words, "This place was very dangerous." This place refers to the small world and the surrounding area of the small world, which are all very dangerous. Lin Moi and Antares were too familiar and knew the deep meaning in his words. Lin Moi immediately took Yu Zhu, controlled the mount to activate Space Leap, and quickly left. In the blink of an eye, Lin Moi had disappeared into the darkness. Outside the small world, the god venerables of various races who had just fled secretly returned. "What happened just now? I don't know. We've observed for so long, and besides not going in, we've used all kinds of methods but nothing has happened." "It's not like nothing happened. A few years ago, didn't someone come out of there and get taken away by a god venerable of the human race? Speaking of which, that person seems a bit like the guy who came today." "That's impossible. How many years has it been? He was only a transcendent god back then, probably not even a true god yet. Why don't we send a few in to take a look? Didn't we check before? They all died inside. We can't just keep guarding like this, can we?" While they were discussing, the space suddenly twisted, undulating like waves. Their bodies also twisted with the space. But they seemed oblivious, not feeling the change in space at all. Their voices were stretched out, a sentence becoming very, very long, each word lasting for many seconds. But they still didn't feel anything. The distortion of space became more and more intense, layer upon layer. Under the intense spatial distortion, the bodies of the god venerables began to break down, like tin sheets folded countless times, breaking apart directly. But they still didn't feel anything. A dozen seconds later, the space returned to normal, and there was no trace of them in the starry sky. None of the god venerables who secretly returned survived. In the distance, a god venerable stared blankly at this scene. He was one of the 8 god venerables from earlier, but because he returned a little later, he escaped this calamity. He witnessed this bizarre scene, watching 7 powerful god venerables die silently. His eyes filled with fear, and he let out a strange cry, turning to flee. The starry sky around the small world seemed to have completely returned to calm. At distances of 10,000 kilometers, 20,000 kilometers, and 30,000 kilometers from the small world. Every 10,000 kilometers, there was a point of white light flickering. In the starry sky, stood inconspicuous skeletons. Lin Mo left after hearing Antares's words, but he didn't leave completely. He left some skeletons, one standing every 10,000 kilometers, observing the events outside the small world. He believed Antares wouldn't lie, and if he said it was dangerous, it must be dangerous. Sure enough, danger really arrived. Lin Mo, who had already flown hundreds of millions of kilometers, suddenly stopped. His expression became extremely shocked, and he murmured, "How could this be? What kind of rule is this?" God venerables were killed without realizing it, even in the instant before their deaths, they were still chatting and talking. This kind of attack was too bizarre, unimaginable. Yu Zhu sensed Lin Mo's abnormality. "Captain, what's wrong?" Lin Mo sighed, "It's nothing." Yu Zhu didn't press, but chose to change the subject. "Why didn't the captain go back to the small world to take a look earlier? The captain is not yet a god venerable, so you can go back." Lin Mo controlled the golden eagle mount to continue forward, while also recalling the skeletons. "I'm not going back, I have other things to do." Yu Zhu said softly, "The old ancestor said that you should relax appropriately when cultivating. And isn't the captain's wife in the small world? Why not go back and see her?" Actually, what Yu Zhu wanted to ask was, why not bring his wife out? With Lin Mo's current abilities, whether in the 4 great starfields or in God City, he could make his wife and family live well. Yu Zhu's words evoked many memories in Lin Mo. "Let me tell you a story," Lin Mo said softly. Yu Zhu nodded quickly, her big eyes shining brightly. A story, told by Lin Mo in a soft voice. In the god city of the human race, on the edge of the central hall, there was a huge palace. Although not as grand as the central hall, it was equally magnificent. In front of the palace, stood a statue of Shao Zontian. The statue was 10,000 meters tall, magnificent and unparalleled. This was the hall of the god of war, the inheritance personally established by Shao Zontian, and also the strongest inheritance in the human race. A person flew out of the hall and entered the central hall. In the central hall, Heavenly Saint Venerable sat high in the first seat. Heavenly Saint Venerable looked at the person who came. "War Saint Venerable, you've received the person, right?" War Saint Venerable nodded. "After more than 1,000 years, it has appeared again. Go take a look." Okay. A teleportation array appeared in the central hall, and after a few seconds, the two disappeared from the hall. Chapter 1791. An illegitimate child of the House Saint Venerable. Outside the small world, accompanied by spatial distortions, Heavenly Saint Venerable and War Saint Venerable appeared in the starry sky. War Saint Venerable felt the aura in the starry sky. "There is the aura of a god venerable." Heavenly Saint Venerable nodded. "There is also the smell of blood. There should have been a battle here." War Saint Venerable took out a simple bronze mirror. The bronze mirror was not like an ordinary mirror, it was uneven, as if it had not been polished. Time reversal. War Saint Venerable shouted softly, and the majestic power of rules poured into the bronze mirror, and the bronze mirror suddenly bloomed with a bright light. The bronze mirror was activated, shining a light that enveloped the starry sky. After a few seconds, the light disappeared, and the starry sky returned to normal. Then 9 god venerables appeared in the bronze mirror. The 9 god venerables came from various races, and after a while, Lin Mo appeared, and the god venerable of the Golden Eagle race left. A great battle broke out, but it ended quickly. In just a few seconds, the god Venerable of the Golden Eagle race was beheaded by Lin Mo. Then Lin Mo came to the outside of the small world. It could be seen that those god Venerables were full of fear of Lin Mo. After a while, suddenly an attack appeared out of thin air, shattering the space, and also repelling Lin Mo, and even causing a large number of god Venerables to flee in panic. Seeing this, Heavenly Saint Venerable's face changed slightly. Look at him. War Saint Venerable immediately turned the perspective to Lin Mo. Lin Mo stopped after being blasted back tens of thousands of kilometers. He stayed in the starry sky for a while, then quickly turned and left. War Saint Venerable said, "He should be fine, he doesn't seem to be injured." Heavenly Saint Venerable nodded, "It's good that he's okay." War Saint Venerable said strangely, "It seems that you care about him very much. Is he your illegitimate son?" Heavenly Saint Venerable snorted and said unhappily, "He is House Saint Venerable's." Ah! War Saint Venerable was stunned for a moment, obviously very surprised. This guy actually has an illegitimate son. Heavenly Saint Venerable didn't explain at all, but continued to stare at the bronze mirror. New pictures appeared in the bronze mirror. Those god Venerables who were scared to flee in panic, returned again. But not all of them returned, only 7 returned. Then, the space twisted, and layers of spatial waves appeared. But in the picture, those Saint Venerables felt nothing. Until their bodies were crushed by the spatial waves, they still didn't feel anything. Heavenly Saint Venerable looked surprised. What's going on? Although the power of space is strong, it shouldn't make them feel nothing. War Saint Venerable's expression was solemn at this moment. It's the power of time and space. They didn't feel any spatial distortion at all. The power of space-time briefly separated their minds, souls, and identities. Only after their bodies were completely crushed did their souls return, to be killed together. And I saw that the speed of their speech slowed down significantly before they died. That's because time was acting on them. The Heavenly Saint Venerable murmured in shock, "What a terrifying power." The fusion of time and space creates the power of space-time. The power of space-time exists only in legends, but the legendary power of space-time is an extremely terrifying force. How could the fusion of 2 top-tier powerful laws not be strong? The Heavenly Saint Venerable asked in a deep voice, "Old Zon, what do you think?" The Battle Saint Venerable shook his head, "There's no way to judge." "Do you remember what happened back then?" The Heavenly Saint Venerable nodded, "Those people still haven't been found." The Battle Saint Venerable said in a deep voice, "I suspect it was the power of space-time. They were either killed or sent to another space-time. But these are just my guesses. Without truly mastering the power of space-time, it's impossible to know the truth. Even if we knew, what use would it be?" The Heavenly Saint Venerable frowned, "It's all so confusing. The human race hasn't even mastered the spatial and temporal laws that make up the power of space-time, let alone find the truth." Suddenly, golden light bloomed from the Heavenly Saint Venerable, while silver radiance emanated from the Battle Saint Venerable. "Go!" Their expressions changed drastically, and they shouted in unison, quickly moving away. They flew hundreds of thousands of kilometers almost instantly before stopping. The radiance on their bodies faded, and the Heavenly Saint Venerable said, "We should be all right now." But the next second, countless blood threads appeared on their bodies, their skin cracked, and blood flowed freely. The 2 of them instantly turned into bloodied figures. At this moment, the 2 looked at each other, their eyes filled with horror. What terrifying power of space-time. The Battle Saint Venerable said with lingering fear, "If our power of laws hadn't automatically protected us, we might have followed in the footsteps of those divine Venerables. Their wounds were healing, after all, they were Saint Venerables, and their self-healing ability was quite powerful. They discovered it quickly and escaped in time. If they had been a second or 2 later, something major might have happened. What do we do?" For a moment, both of them were at a loss. They didn't dare go to that small world again, not even to get close. As for the truth, forget it. With their abilities, they weren't qualified to explore the truth. Seeking flowers. To become a Saint Venerable, they all understood very well that they should never touch things beyond their capabilities. Curiosity killed the cat, it wasn't just a saying. The Heavenly Saint Venerable suddenly said to himself, "I wonder if little friend Lin knows something." The Battle Saint Venerable asked strangely, "Who is little friend Lin?" The Heavenly Saint Venerable said, "It's the one who was blasted away just now." The Battle Saint Venerable was completely confused. "Isn't that the illegitimate son of Saint Venerable? How?" The Heavenly Saint Venerable smiled embarrassedly, "I was joking with you." The Battle Saint Venerable glared, puffing out his beard. Is this something to joke about? If I told Saint Venerable how, wouldn't that really start a fight? The Heavenly Saint Venerable spread his hands. So what if you fight? It's not like you haven't fought before. The Battle Saint Venerable was too lazy to pay attention to this guy. Speak seriously, why do you think Lin, little friend Lin, would know some of the inside story? 0. The Heavenly Saint Venerable said, little friend Lin came from that small world. As for his affairs, you can check the Human Emperor network yourself. The Battle Saint Venerable checked the information about Lin Mo's words in the Human Emperor network with doubt. The more he looked, the wider his eyes became, and the more surprised he was. This is a top genius. Yes. The Heavenly Saint Venerable nodded. The Battle Saint Venerable also said, I calculated that he has a connection with the War God Temple and should join the War God Temple. Get lost. The Heavenly Saint Venerable scolded angrily. The Heavenly Saint Venerable whispered, several of us old guys have discussed it and decided to let him grow on his own. If he really has a connection with the War God Temple and voluntarily joins the War God Temple, we won't stop him. But don't forget what happened in the past. We've done it several times, and we can't miss it this time. If you want to understand, then think more about what the War God once said. The Battle Saint Venerable looked complicated, pondered for a long time before saying, I understand, I'll do as you say this time. Then are we still going to look for him? The Heavenly Saint Venerable thought for a while, forget it, let's not look for him. If he knows something, he will definitely tell us. There are too many mysteries in this world, and it's difficult to unravel them all. Let's just do our own thing. Although it's impossible to be like the War God, we must also work hard for the future of the human race. The Battle Saint Venerable said, we are almost ready, now we are just waiting for the east wind. The Heavenly Saint Venerable smiled, it's coming soon, the east wind is coming soon. Chapter 1792, That Warm Big Hand. Lin Mo's story didn't have too many emotions, it was just a plain narration. It was the first time she knew that Lin Mo's small world was so dangerous. People in the great world are called ordinary people before entering the transcendent God realm. They only need to cultivate with peace of mind every day, and they can also get a lot of resources. In Lin Mo's small world, they have to fight from level 1, constantly fighting. Because if they don't fight, they will die, and the human race will perish. Yu Ju's emotions also fluctuated with Lin Mo's story, her eyes gradually became wet, and she looked at Lin Mo with a touch of heartache. At that moment, she substituted herself into the story and empathized with him. She sighed faintly, I thought that Captain was a genius in the small world, the kind of genius sought after by countless people. I didn't expect Captain's small world to be so bitter and so dangerous. But Captain is really amazing, to be able to kill his way out of such a small world, he is a true genius. Lin Mo smiled slightly, every small world is different, my small world is not the only one. Yu Zu sighed again, you want to change the fate of the 4 ladies against the heavens, this seems very difficult. Lin Mo smiled, it's very difficult, but it's not without hope. Yu Zu thought for a while, I seem to have heard that some treasures can increase cultivation aptitude, and it is said that there is a kind of elixir that can extend life for tens of thousands of years as long as you take it. After returning to God City, I will look for it in the family's database, maybe I can find it. Seeing her serious look, Lin Mo couldn't help but touch her little head, thank you. Yu Zu smiled sweetly, it's all I should do. Lin Mo and Yu Zu returned to the Vermilion Bird Star territory, and then took the teleportation array to the edge area, preparing to go to the White Tiger Star territory. There is also a dark void between the Vermilion Bird Star territory and the White Tiger Star territory. It should be said that there are dark voids between the 4 major star territories. From a few days of chatting with Yu Bingqing, Lin Mo already knew that the dark void not only exists in the human race star territory. In many places in the great world, there are dark voids. Yu Bingqing didn't know why the dark void existed, she knew what it was, but didn't know why. Lin Mo was very clear that the dark void was caused by the invasion of the Black Blood Great World into the Great World in ancient times. Every dark void is a former battlefield. It is not a battlefield between strong people, but a battlefield between 2 worlds, and also a wound. The Great World once confronted the Black Blood Great World head-on, leaving these wounds. To this day, the wounds are still bleeding. Lin Mo had seen the Great World runes, and the Great World runes were almost broken. Judging from this, even if the Great World withstood that battle, it could only be said to be a Pyrrhic victory. Lin Mo stood on the edge of the Vermilion Bird Star territory, and 100,000 kilometers in front of him was the dark void that could devour light. The star territory level teleportation array was focusing energy, preparing to send a group of cultivators to the White Tiger Star territory. Yu Zhu stood beside Lin Mo Yu, her gaze also fixed on the dark void. I've heard my sisters at home talk about the dark void before, and I've also heard elders mention its existence. So, this is what it's like. Lin Mo Yu smiled slightly. Want to go take a look? Yu Zhu shook her head. I've heard my sisters say that you can't see anything inside, and it's very dangerous. Then we won't go. You really can't see anything inside, Lin Mo Yu said truthfully. Indeed, you couldn't see anything. Yu Zhu said, but the elders in the family also said that there are many opportunities in the dark void. Lin Mo Yu thought for a moment. Opportunities do exist, but whether you can obtain them depends on your strength and luck. A middle-aged man nearby seemed to have overheard the conversation between Lin Mo Yu and Yu Zhu. Little girl, opportunities often represent danger. Often, when you see an opportunity, you lose your life. This middle-aged man was a minor god sovereign, with an air of vicissitudes about him. His words were kind, but also tinged with envy. He seemed to be envying the youth of Yu Zhu and Lin Mo Yu. Yu Zhu was very polite. Thank you for the reminder, senior. I'm aware of that. The middle-aged man didn't say much more. His gaze turned to the dark void, a hint of sadness and nostalgia in his eyes. This is someone with a story, Lin Mo Yu thought to himself. He had no interest in asking what the middle-aged man had experienced. In the human race, there were too many people like that. Having lived for hundreds or thousands of years, who doesn't have a story? The space trembled slightly, rippling in circles. Then a light shone, like a sharp arrow piercing into the dark void, bringing a moment of brightness to the dark void before it was once again enveloped in darkness. The Starfield teleportation array gathered enough energy to send away a batch of cultivators. Cross-Starfield teleportation was too far, requiring enormous energy for each teleportation. Below the Starfield teleportation array, 2 stars provided energy for the array. Every 10 minutes, the teleportation array could be activated once, each time teleporting 10,000 people. The queue moved forward, and another 10,000 people entered the teleportation array in an orderly manner, waiting quietly. Lin Mo Yu and Yu Zhu also entered the teleportation array, waiting for the teleportation. Those who could come here were at least God Kings, and above the 3rd tier of God King at that. 5th level permissions weren't so easy to obtain. After completing tasks all the way, by the time you reached 5th level permissions, you had basically reached the 3rd tier of God King. Yu Zhu's cultivation was at the 1st tier of God King, which could be said to be the bottom of the barrel among everyone here. Moreover, she hadn't reached 5th level permissions. It was only because she was born into the Yu family, came from God City, and had an officer's rank that she possessed the special privilege of free movement. A few minutes later, the teleportation array activated, and with dazzling streamers, tens of thousands of people traversed the dark void, heading towards the White Tiger Starfield tens of thousands of light years away. The Starfield-level teleportation array, with its extremely fast teleportation speed, placed great pressure on the body. This pressure could only be withstood by those who had reached the God King realm. If it were a true god, they might collapse on the spot. Yu Zhu's small face was slightly pale, and she bit her lip, enduring the pressure coming from all directions. She carefully leaned on Lin Mo Yu, her body trembling slightly. But the pressure grew stronger and stronger, gradually reaching the limit that Yu Zhu could withstand. Her vision blurred slightly, and hallucinations seemed to appear. At this moment, she felt a warm hand press on her shoulder, and then a stream of vitality-filled energy entered her body. 2.3. All the discomfort was cleared away in an instant, and she felt as comfortable as if she were in a hot spring. Yu Zhu raised her head and saw Lin Mo Yu's sharp yet gentle face, her eyes revealing a light called happiness. Thank you, Captain, Yu Zhu said softly. Lin Mo Yu didn't speak, only nodded slightly. Lin Mo Yu's palm continuously transmitted a warm current, which became hotter and hotter, and Yu Zhu felt like she was about to melt. I really like this feeling. I wish it could be like this every day. Yu Zhu enjoyed this happiness, her mind in a jumble. Unfortunately, good times always pass quickly. An hour later, the teleportation officially ended. Lin Mo Yu also withdrew his warm hand at this moment. A sense of loss rose in Yu Zhu's heart, but she knew she couldn't be greedy, and firmly remembered this feeling in her heart. Chapter 1793. A magic treasure containing the power of life and death. Each starfield has its own characteristics. The cultivators of the White Tiger starfield use the White Tiger as their totem. In the White Tiger starfield, there is a legend that a divine beast named White Tiger once lived and fought here, and its blood fell in the starry sky. Just like the people in the Azure Dragon starfield, the cultivators in the White Tiger starfield also feel that they possess a trace of the bloodline of the divine beast White Tiger. The power of faith is the best evidence. The power of faith was born from the White Tiger starfield and eventually became one of the original forces of the human race. The power of faith is the pride of the White Tiger starfield. Being in the White Tiger starfield, Lin Mo Yu could feel the omnipresent power of faith. It was just a pity that these powers of faith were too weak and too scattered. The cultivators were like staking out territory, encircling pieces of land to collect the power of faith for themselves. Of course, it was impossible to use coercive means. They would pay a corresponding price to exchange for the power of faith. For example, if 10,000 ordinary people contributed the power of faith to them, they would need to provide additional resources for these 10,000 people. However, the power of faith contributed by ordinary people was extremely limited. Lin Mo Yu and Yu Zhu passed through several stars and walked through several star systems. Lin Mo Yu wanted to further explore the uses of the power of faith. Unfortunately, ordinary cultivators could not access the true meaning of the power of faith. Their application of the power of faith was even cruder than his own. Lin Mo Yu was slightly disappointed. It seems that there won't be much to gain here. Yu Zhu tilted her little head. I remember that the Bai family in God City seems to be from the White Tiger starfield. Elders have mentioned before that the ancestor of the Bai family and the ancestor of Ru family were great figures of the same level. If Captain wants to know about the power of faith, it's better to directly ask the Bai family. Lin Mo Yu remembered that the domain lord of the White Tiger starfield was named Bai Binger, so it seemed that she should also be a member of the Bai family. Yu Zhu was right. Instead of exploring aimlessly, it would be better to directly ask the Bai family for convenience and speed. Lin Mo Yu smiled slightly. Thank you. Yu Zhu blushed slightly. It's too polite for Captain to say that. You don't need to thank me. Now that he had a direction, Lin Mo Yu no longer asked around randomly and took the teleportation array to another destination. In the White Tiger starfield, there was also a strange star, which was the main purpose of Lin Mo Yu's trip. The strange star was located in the core area of the White Tiger starfield, the White Tiger 00003 non-life star system. Lin Mo Yu was not prevented from choosing to teleport. Unlike in the Black Tortoise starfield, where he had to accept a mission to go. The teleportation ended quickly, and a noisy voice rang in his ears. There was a crowd of people in front of him. It was very lively here. Yu Zhu's eyes were a little strange. It's so lively here. There was a group of floating boulders. The boulders varied in size, and each continent was crowded with people. These people were constantly shouting, selling items. It was clear that a market had formed here. These boulders were like stalls. This place was still millions of kilometers away from the 00003 non-life star system, and the strange star was located in the center of the star system, at least tens of millions of kilometers away. The teleportation array was set a bit far, and how could a market form in this kind of place? Not only Yu Zhu, but Lin Mo Yu was also aroused a trace of curiosity. This sword contains 500 portions of gray energy. Although it is a true God Realm magic treasure, its power can be comparable to a God King Realm magic treasure, priced at 5 million points. My axe contains 2,000 portions of gray energy. Although it is only a low-grade God King Realm magic treasure, its power is more powerful than the middle grade, priced at 20 million points. My white energy armor, middle grade God King Realm, contains 4,000 portions of white energy, priced at 100 million points. Shouts continued to come from his ears, and Lin Mo Yu gradually understood some things. The so-called gray energy is the power of death in the undead law. White aura is the power of life within the undying laws. The cultivators in the White Tiger Star region, using unknown methods, managed to incorporate the power of death and the power of life into their magical treasures. Similar to the power of faith, the cultivators in the White Tiger Star region also quantified it with corresponding values for counting. They calculated the power of life and the power of death in units. Even Lin Mo was surprised by this method of calculation. With the blessing of the power of life or the power of death, the power of magical treasures would greatly increase. A high-grade magical treasure at the True God Realm, containing 500 units of the power of death, would have its power comparable to a magical treasure at the God King Realm. Although there were some exaggerations, and the power of death would eventually be exhausted. It was undeniable that the power was indeed greatly enhanced. Lin Mo curiously bought a high-grade magical treasure at the True God realm, which contained 500 units of the power of death. He tried it out, and the power of this magical treasure was not far from a low-grade magical treasure at the God King realm. Although it was not as powerful as a God King realm magical treasure as advertised, it had its own advantages. The power required to activate it was not strong, and any true god could do it. Unlike God King realm magical treasures, which required a God King to activate. However, with better magical treasures, the price would naturally be higher. True God realm magical treasures could not be sold for millions of coins, but they could be sold for that much after containing the power of death. Yu Zhu also tried it and couldn't help but exclaim, "What a magical treasure!" Lin Mo understood the essence of the magical treasure and was not surprised. In his opinion, it was simply that the magical treasure carried the power of death, so its power would naturally increase. He was curious about how the cultivators in the White Tiger Star region managed to do it. The strange stars indeed possessed inexhaustible power of death and power of life. The key was how to integrate these powers of life and death into the magical treasures. After thinking for a long time, Lin Mo couldn't figure it out and couldn't help but sigh, "The world is so big, there are really a lot of smart people." After understanding the essence, he thought about going over to take a look himself. The two flew towards the number 00003 non-living star system. Lin Mo slowed down to match Yu Zhu's pace. When they were about to enter the star system at 8:07, they both stopped at the same time. A formation blocked their way. The scale of this formation was very large, covering the entire star system. It could not be seen from a distance, and could only be discovered when approaching. With Lin Mo's current realm, he knew the essence of the formation at a glance. This formation was not a defensive formation. If he wanted to break in, there would be no difficulty. However, the formation would issue a warning to alert the guards. Setting up such a formation in the territory of the human race was definitely not to prevent enemies, but simply to provide a warning. Yu Zhu's eyes were bright. "This is an army formation, mainly used for warning." Lin Mo was slightly surprised. "You understand formations?" Yu Zhu was a little embarrassed. "When I have nothing to do, I like to study formations, and over time, I have learned a little bit." Lin Mo knew that she was being modest. Being able to see at a glance that this was an army formation was not as simple as knowing a little bit. Yu Zhu said, "Captain, I have a way to get in without alarming the guards." Lin Mo realized that he had underestimated Yu Zhu. She not only saw that this was an army formation, but she could also crack it. If it were elsewhere, that would naturally be the best. But now that they were in human territory, doing so would be a bit unethical. Lin Mo smiled. "No need, since the formation is here, then we will do it according to the rules." Chapter 1794. Dangerous to others, home to me. Along the formation's veins, they quickly found the formation's core. Outside the core, there was a building similar to a fortress. Without looking, they knew that it belonged to the military. The formation belonged to the military, and the managers were also from the military. This made Lin Mo even more curious about what secrets this star system held. From the strange stars in the Suzaku star region, to the strange stars in the battlefield, to the strange stars in the Xuanwu star region. It seemed that every strange star had its own unique features. But one thing was the same: the strange stars contained the undying laws, which was the same for everyone. In front of the fortress, Lin Mo saw a group of people queuing up. They passed through the fortress in an orderly manner and then entered the star system. The fortress was the real entrance. Lin Mo and Yu Zhu exchanged glances, and both saw curiosity in each other's eyes. Soon they also joined the queue. Lin Mo listened to people's conversations and began to understand what was going on. "How much faith power have you prepared this time? What level of magical treasure are you planning to fuse?" "I have prepared 3,000 units of faith power. This is my accumulation for several years. This time I want to make a battle armor fused with white aura, a God King realm battle armor. 3,000 units of faith power, even if you are all successful, will only amount to 3,000 units of white aura at most, which can only be a low-grade God King realm battle armor." Enough, I'm just a small business. I have calculated the cost. With one round trip, I can earn at least 5 million points. You can try to make it bigger. Like me this time, I plan to make a divine weapon with 10,000 units of black aura, a high-grade God King realm one. Wow, you are going to make a fortune. I don't know if I will make a fortune yet, it depends on luck. This time I plan to choose Planet 7, but Planet 7 is too close to the strange star, it may be a bit dangerous. I choose Planet 4, it's very stable. Listening to these people's conversations, Lin Mo realized that collecting the power of life and death was actually related to the power of faith. The conversations mentioned business, costs, and profits. Lin Mo immediately pieced together the whole relationship. Yu Zhu suddenly said, I understand, they first raise a group of people to provide themselves with the power of faith, and then use the power of faith to come here to fuse the power of the strange stars into magical treasures, and then sell the magical treasures to earn more points. This is a good idea, but the efficiency of earning points is too slow, but it is safe, and basically won't lose money. As a member of the Yu family, Yu Zhu was very familiar with business. What she had seen and heard along the way had finally made her completely understand. Lin Mo chuckled, it's already very fast. Calculated, you can earn hundreds of thousands of points every year. If you invest more, you can even earn millions of points. Yu Zhu said, compared to the captain, it's far behind. Lin Mo smiled slightly, you can't compare, they are doing business, I am robbing. This speed of earning points was not slow among the God Kings, the key was that it was safe, without having to take risks outside, or do troublesome tasks. Lin Mo had just seen many cultivators from other star regions who had come specifically for these magical treasures. Some people would also prepare corresponding magical treasures for their disciples and descendants, so as long as the magical treasures were made, they basically didn't have to worry about selling them. Queuing up, they finally reached the end, and the two entered a hall. The hall was very similar to a mission center, with 10 mission counters in the middle. At the moment, 2 mission counters were vacant, and Lin Mo and Yu Zhu each took one. Communicating with the mission counter with his mind, Lin Mo immediately saw the corresponding information. Open black lens bracket, please select the planet to enter. Entering Planet 1 requires paying 100 units of faith power. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. Entering Planet 2 requires paying 200 units of faith power. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. Entering Planet 3 requires paying 300 units of faith power. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. Entering the strange star requires paying 1000 units of faith power. Close black lens bracket. Along with the information, there was also a star map, which marked the positions of the planets. The entire star system was centered on the strange star, and the closest to the strange star was Planet 9. The farther out, the smaller the planet number, and the less faith power that had to be paid. Lin Mo could fully understand this setting. The closer one gets to the singular star, the more life and death power one can naturally obtain, and the higher the efficiency, but of course, the price is also higher. Pricing based on the power of faith, it seems to be a unique characteristic of the White Tiger Starfield. Lin Mo smiled softly. The White Tiger Starfield has already started using the power of faith as currency, which is indeed interesting. He was going to the singular star, which required paying 1000 units of the power of faith. For many people, 1000 units of the power of faith might be several years' worth of accumulation. He had just heard those divine kings say that they could only collect 1 or 2 units of the power of faith per day, while he could obtain 300 units of the power of faith every day, so collecting 1000 units was easy. Lin Mo chose the singular star, and at the same time, took out 1000 units of the power of faith and injected it into the task platform. A token flew out of the platform and landed in his hand. One side of the token was white and the other was gray, looking just like the singular star. Leaving the task platform, Lin Mo saw Yu Zhu looking at him with her big eyes. He immediately understood that Yu Zhu didn't have the power of faith, so she couldn't go anywhere. Lin Mo smiled, where do you want to go? I have the power of faith here. Yu Zhu shook her head, I'm not going, I'll wait outside for the captain to come out. She was very well behaved, knowing that Lin Mo came here to find the singular star. Although she didn't know Lin Mo's real purpose, she knew that Lin Mo must have something to do. Even if she went with him, she would probably only be able to stare blankly, and might even become a burden, so it was better to wait outside. Lin Mo nodded, then you wait for me outside, I'll come out when I'm done. Yu Zhu said, there is some danger inside, the captain must be careful. She had heard others talking about it earlier, the closer one gets to the singular star, the higher the level of danger. Lin Mo laughed, don't worry, wait for me to come out. The singular star might be dangerous to others, but to Lin Mo, it was like going home. Lin Mo took the token and arrived at the hall. The token activated the formation, and a golden path appeared in front of him. The golden path could directly reach the star he had chosen. Stepping onto the golden path automatically took Lin Mo to the singular star. The speed of the golden path was very fast, carrying Lin Mo forward quickly in the starry sky. Stars flashed past and receded. Lin Mo felt the life and death power in the star system. The life and death power turned into gray and white mist, floating randomly in the starry sky. The closer one got to the singular star, the denser the mist, and the stronger the two forces of life and death became. The life power was fine, there would be no problem even if one was exposed to it for a long time, and it could even heal injuries. But there would be danger if one was exposed to the death power for too long. The closer one got to the singular star, the stronger and denser the two forces became. No wonder, the closer one gets to the singular star, the more dangerous it becomes. The death power can corrode all kinds of laws and magical treasures. Even divine sovereigns can't stand it for long. Chapter 1795, A Boy Who Doesn't Know the Height of the Sky. Lin Mo felt the aura of cultivators. They sat on the stars, collecting the power they needed. These cultivators used the power of faith as a net to extract the power they needed from the mist, and then integrated it into magical treasures. Throughout the entire process, the power of faith played an absolute role. The power of faith is indeed magical, it can actually be used like this. It should have more than just this little use, the power of faith must have other uses. The power of faith is an extremely magical power, it can actually ignore the corrosion of the death power. Having cultivated until now, Lin Mo discovered for the first time a power that could ignore the corrosion of the death power. Approaching the end point, layers of mist appeared before his eyes. The golden path carried Lin Mo through the mist and slowly stopped. Lin Mo stood at the end of the golden path, looking at the singular star in front of him, and couldn't help but exclaim in his heart. The three singular stars I've seen before combined are not as big as it. And the life and death power on it is also very strong, far surpassing the past. This singular star has a diameter of over 1,000,000 kilometers, larger than many stars. Like other singular stars, its surface is also clearly divided into gray and white halves. It's just that in the middle where life and death intersect, the two forces collide with each other, erupting like a volcano, spewing out singular essence and spreading outwards. The life and death power in the star system, like mist, is actually only a small, insignificant part of the singular star. This singular star is too huge, Lin Mo doesn't know what level he can reach after absorbing its power. It will definitely be more than one level, and it is very likely to be 2 levels, or even more. Lin Mo's eyes were thoughtful, even a little hesitant. He was considering whether to absorb the power of the singular star. As long as I don't advance to the divine sovereign realm, there shouldn't be any problems. But what if I advance to the divine sovereign realm? Lin Mo was a little unsure, he couldn't advance to the divine sovereign realm yet. In his plan, he needed to perfectly advance to the divine sovereign realm, which meant he had to improve his physical strength as well, just like when he perfectly advanced to the divine king realm. Leaving no shortcomings, leaving no regrets, truly achieving a perfect advancement. He had already found a way to continue improving his physical body, but it just needed time. For a time, Lin Mo was also caught in a dilemma. In my plan, the best state to improve my physical strength is to improve after reaching the lesser divine sovereign realm. The current opportunity seems to be an opportunity, but the degree is not easy to grasp. If I give up the current opportunity, then it may take more than 10 years, or even dozens of years. To go or not to go? While Lin Mo was struggling, a vigorous voice came from the side. Young man, have you seen enough? Lin Mo turned his head to look and saw the owner of the voice. This was a divine sovereign named Guan Li, a first-level divine sovereign. He was sitting in the void only 100 meters away from him, looking at him with a smile. In fact, there were more than just him sitting around, there were several others. Not only were there divine sovereigns around, but there were also divine sovereigns on the singular star. The closer one gets to the singular star, the higher the level of cultivation. These divine sovereigns were either trying to comprehend the undying laws, or they were collecting the power of life and death to integrate into magical treasures. Those who came here were all divine sovereigns, there were no divine kings. Lin Mo bowed slightly to Guan Li. Greetings, senior. Guan said, "Young man, this is not a place for you to come, just take a look and don't stay too long, people will die." The power of life and death spread in the starry sky, and the concentration of the power of life and death here was indeed not suitable for divine kings to stay for a long time. Over time, the laws on their bodies would be corroded, and even invaded by the power of death, causing damage. One must know that the power of death invades not only the physical body of the laws, but also the soul. Once the soul is damaged, it will be really troublesome. Lin Mo knew that Guan Li meant well, and was naturally very polite. "Thank you for the reminder, senior, I know what I'm doing." Guan Li nodded slightly and didn't say anything more. Lin Mo was not related to him, so reminding him was the limit. He had been here for a long time, and often saw some young people in the Divine King realm who came here without knowing the immensity of the heavens and earth. The results were often not very good. The smarter ones retreated in the face of difficulties, and the dumber ones would turn back only after hitting the south wall. However, they generally would not stay away from the golden path. If there was any danger, as long as they returned to the golden path, they could guarantee their safety. Not to mention God King, even a God Lord like him wouldn't be too far from the golden path. After pondering for a moment, Lin Mo finally made a decision. Such an opportunity is right in front of him, it would be a waste if he couldn't seize it. Stop immediately upon reaching Lesser God Lord. If I really break through to the God Lord realm, then I can only say it's my fate, and I'll find a way to remedy it then. If I miss this opportunity, I might waste decades more. Having made up his mind, Lin Mo left the golden path and flew towards the strange star as a stream of light. Guan Li's eyes widened. "Are you courting death, kid?" Lin Mo said loudly, "Thank you for your concern, senior, I'll be fine." As he spoke, Lin Mo had already disappeared from sight. Lin Mo's actions alarmed several God Lords. Several God Lords watched Lin Mo enter the strange star with their own eyes, a hint of disdain in their eyes. Another ignorant kid who doesn't know the immensity of heaven and earth. Young people, it's understandable to be ambitious, but it's a pity. There are still a few seniors on the star, perhaps they will save his life. Even we wouldn't dare to truly enter the star, he's just a God King, I'm afraid he'll die instantly. Under the grey aura, he might not even have a complete corpse. Judging by his speed, he should be a genius, what a pity. The God Lords spoke. After all, everyone was from the human race. Although they were somewhat disdainful in their hearts, they still felt sorry for Lin Mo. On the way to the strange star, the fog became thicker again. Within the fog, the powers of life and death rushed towards him. When they merge together, they become the undying law, but now that no one controls them, they are two distinct powers of life and death. When the two powers touched Lin Mo's body, they naturally drilled into Lin Mo's body. To them, it was like returning home. They gathered and merged within Lin Mo's body, restoring their true appearance, becoming the undying law. For others, the power of death, which can corrode magic treasures and dissolve souls, had no effect on Lin Mo. Feeling the power of life and death constantly entering his body, Lin Mo felt like he was returning home, every part of his body cheering with joy. Lin Mo couldn't help but let out a long roar, his speed suddenly increased, and he rushed into the strange star. On the strange star, there were still several powerful God Lords. They were all sensing the power of the strange star, hoping to comprehend the corresponding laws from it. Lin Mo's roar attracted their attention, and they all looked up, seeing Lin Mo descending from the sky and falling into the star. "Someone's coming in. It's a God King. How is this possible? How could a God King enter here? Even with magic treasures to protect him, it's impossible to enter without being at least a third-order God Lord, let alone a God King." Several God Lords simply didn't believe it, but that was the reality. They all saw Lin Mo. Then they saw Lin Mo again. They saw Lin Mo surrounded by grey and white aura, flying rapidly through the air. The several God Lords present were dumbfounded, unable to explain what was happening. Chapter 1796. We are still too ignorant. The grey and white aura enveloped his entire body, adding a bit of mystery to Lin Mo. He flew across the strange star like lightning, leaving a long shadow. On the strange star, several powerful God Lords were dumbfounded. What they saw exceeded their understanding. Having lived for thousands of years, they had seen too many things. There were not many things that could confuse them. But what they saw completely subverted their understanding. Lin Mo was just a God King. A God King should have been corroded and killed in an instant. How could he move freely here? Even they, relying on the power of a God Lord and the massive power of faith, could barely stay here. What's the background of this person? Could it be that he has already comprehended the laws here? The gray aura is full of the power of death, and the white aura is full of the power of life. Looking at their appearance, it seems that they have completely merged the two powers together. Impossible, we have tried countless times. Death and life are opposite existences, how could they merge? That's right, you can only choose one of the two. This old man has comprehended the power of death for hundreds of years, don't you think I know these things? But he really did it. Haven't you noticed that the power of death and the power of life have both entered his body? Could it be that we were wrong? The God Lords couldn't explain it, each with a thoughtful expression, frowning. Lin Mo flew through the strange star, searching for the extreme points. This strange star was the largest he had ever seen, and the undying law on it was also the strongest. The undying law had already begun to materialize, and the gray and white gases that were emitted were derived from the excessively strong undying law. In Lin Mo's perception, these undying laws had reached the God Lord level. While searching for the extreme points, Lin Mo was also constantly thinking and feeling. A large amount of undying law merged into his body, which also allowed Lin Mo to have a better understanding of the undying law. It seems to have the aura of the Lost Star River. This strange star should have integrated some of the power of the Lost Star River. Lin Mo had entered the God Lord realm several times and mobilized the Lost Star River several times, so he was no stranger to the Lost Star River. After the undying law reached a certain level, it would attract the Lost Star River. The strange star in front of him was like this, attracting a part of the power of the Lost Star River, making it extremely powerful. The power of death in it can corrode various magic treasures and laws, including the body and soul, which will be corroded. After integrating the power of the Lost Star River, it was enough to pose a threat to God Lords, and God Lords with weaker strength would find it difficult to approach. The power of life was not without danger. Excessive power of life would cause life to wither prematurely. This process happened silently, and in some ways, it was even more difficult to defend against. People eat when they are hungry and stop when they are full. The existence of the power of life is like you never being full, you will keep eating and eating until your stomach bursts and your whole body explodes. Excessive power of life will be like this, it will not burst the body, but the soul. In the law of life, there is a very lethal spell, known as the poison of life. Controlled power of life can save lives and heal injuries. But uncontrolled power of life can cause all things to wither and the soul to collapse. The extreme point had not been found yet, and the strange star had not been activated yet, but Lin Mo had already gained something. Lin Mo fell into thinking and comprehending the laws, and unconsciously flew around and around. Passing under the eyes of the God Lords again and again, making the God Lords feel more and more confused, not knowing what he was doing. Some God Lords wanted to ask, but Lin Mo had no intention of stopping at all. Even God Lords, on the strange star, could not act as freely as Lin Mo. Although he was immersed in the perception of the undying law, he did not stop searching for the extreme point. Following the veins of the law, Lin Mo found 2 extreme points in less than a day. In the gray world, there was a white spot only the size of a fist. This spot was buried by the gray mist, making it difficult to be discovered. Similarly, in the white world of the power of life, there was also a gray spot the size of a fist. The 2 extreme points were the true existence of the reversal of things, and the foundation for the existence of the undying law. Lin Mo stopped in the center of the 2 extreme points. Coincidentally, the position where he stopped was exactly in the sight of several God Lords. He finally stopped. What is he going to do? Is he comprehending the law? I feel that the gray and white aura on his body has become more intense. He should have really comprehended something. So the gray and white aura can really coexist. We were wrong. We went the wrong way, no wonder we haven't gained anything for so many years. Let's go ask, how exactly did he comprehend it? The divine sovereigns were about to move when they saw Lin Mo simultaneously throw out 2 clusters of laws. The power of life and the power of death crossed a vast distance, accurately landing into their respective poles. The entire extraordinary star was instantly activated, and the originally calm extraordinary star began to vibrate violently. Rumble, rumble, rumble. Thunderous roars echoed, and the gray and white energies collectively erupted. A massive force surged out like a tsunami, instantly causing all the divine sovereigns to be uncontrollably driven away from the extraordinary star. Even the strongest among them, a sixth-order divine sovereign, couldn't resist this sudden force. They were forced back millions of kilometers before barely stopping. The mist enveloping the extraordinary star began to thin. The extraordinary star no longer spewed new gray and white mist, but instead began to retract the mist it had already emitted. Countless mists flowed back towards the extraordinary star, and the starry sky gradually cleared. What did he do? He activated the extraordinary star. How did he do it? This is truly an amazing world, we are still too ignorant. The divine sovereigns looked at the rapidly changing extraordinary star, each with a wry smile. Having lived for thousands of years, they felt like they had lived in vain. Not only them, but the divine sovereigns beside the golden path were also wide-eyed at this moment. The mist in front of them was dissipating at an alarming rate, and they were amazed by the changes before their eyes. Then they saw Lin Moyu on the extraordinary star. Lin Moyu stood on the star, his whole body enveloped in gray and white energy, proudly standing in the world like the master of the star. The gray and white mist flowing back from the starry sky was entering Lin Moyu's body at an astonishing rate. At the same time, a massive amount of mist rose from the extraordinary star, also entering Lin Moyu's body. Lin Moyu's aura was rapidly increasing, becoming stronger and stronger. Lin Moyu's eyes were tightly closed, he was currently traveling in the world of the undying law. As the undying law poured into his body, countless insights rapidly emerged. His understanding of the undying law became deeper and deeper, and his control over it also increased dramatically. His realm also began to improve. After only half a day, he broke through the 7th level of Divine King, taking a step further and entering the 8th level of Divine King. His aura suddenly increased greatly, rushing out of the star and shaking the starry sky. The divine sovereigns finally clearly felt Lin Moyu's realm. 8th level of Divine King. And still improving. He is actually using the extraordinary star to cultivate, his cultivation speed is so fast. It is fortunate for our human race that such a person has appeared in the human race. Chapter 1797. Watching helplessly as you become a little divine sovereign. Under the public gaze, Lin Moyu's aura continued to rise and improve. After breaking through to the 8th level of Divine King, Lin Moyu's aura increased again after only 2 days. He broke through to the 9th level of Divine King. What others would take decades to complete, Lin Moyu only used 2 days. The divine sovereigns outside the extraordinary star stared at Lin Moyu, all with shocked expressions. He broke through just like that. That's too fast, it's only been 2 days. When did cultivation become so easy? It's really unbelievable, how did he do it? Have we been here for too long, and have become disconnected from the outside world? His aura is still improving, it seems he wants to become a little divine sovereign in one go. Maybe he can directly become a divine sovereign, that would truly be creating a miracle. At the 9th level of Divine King, his control over the undying law had reached 100%, almost perfect. The next step was to control his own law, and merge his own tributary into the law river, which was like a great river. This was the inevitable process from Divine King to Divine Sovereign. As long as this step was completed, becoming a divine sovereign was only a matter of time. So this step was also called Little Divine Sovereign. In Lin Moyu's soul world, the Law River had already emerged, with gray and white colors surging in the Law River, representing the life and death forces of the undying law. Below the Law River, there was a small tributary. The tributary also flowed with gray and white colors, but compared to the Law River, it was far inferior. Although the comprehension of the law had ended, the undying law was still continuously pouring in. This extraordinary star was too huge, and the power contained within was also astonishing. After Lin Moyu activated it, all the power accumulated over countless years rushed in, beyond Lin Moyu's control. In just 3 days, he had risen from the 7th level of Divine King to the 9th level of Divine King. Now, this force continued to push the Law tributary, heading towards the Law River. Lin Moyu watched helplessly as his Law tributary moved towards the Law tributary at a steady speed. The power pushing the Law tributary came entirely from the extraordinary star, he didn't exert any force himself. He seemed to have become a third party, just watching, waiting to become a little divine sovereign. Lin Moyu had a feeling of laughter and tears. I wonder what the situation is for others to become little divine sovereigns. It shouldn't be easy for others to become little divine sovereigns, otherwise so many people wouldn't be trapped at the 9th level of Divine King. After all, as long as you become a little divine sovereign, stepping into the divine sovereign realm is a certainty. The really difficult thing is becoming a little divine sovereign. First of all, you must have a soul with sufficient soul realm, raising the soul to the peak of the 3rd rank, and touching the 4th rank. Furthermore, you must have 100% control of the law. Only with a perfect law tributary can you have the qualifications to enter the law river. Using your own soul power, plus the power of the law, working together to push the law tributary, merging it into the law river. From then on, let your own law merge with the law river, laying the foundation for becoming a divine sovereign. This is the little divine sovereign. Many 9th-level divine kings are stuck at this step. They cannot push their own law tributary, merging it into the law river. This is a slow and steady process, and tens or hundreds of years are considered fast. There are many people who can spend hundreds of years on this step, or even their entire lives. But Lin Mo Yu, now he doesn't have to do anything, the law tributary is entering the law river at a very steady speed. The talent giant tree also automatically swayed, providing a trace of soul power. It looked like it was cheering for the law tributary. At the current speed, in less than 2 days, he could become a little divine sovereign. Becoming a little divine sovereign is a good thing, the key is not to become a divine sovereign immediately. Lin Mo Yu still has things to do, his physical body is not strong enough, which will affect the future. Lin Mo Yu had a headache, he began to think about how to prevent himself from becoming a divine sovereign. What if the prevention fails, and he passively becomes a divine sovereign, what should he do? Lin Mo Yu had to think about a way out for himself in advance, the development of things seemed to exceed his imagination. Time passed second by second, Lin Mo Yu watched helplessly as his law tributary gradually merged into the law river, until it completely disappeared. 2 days later, in his soul world, there was only a complete law river left, and no more law tributaries. The instant all the tributaries of the law merged into the galaxy of laws, Lin Mo's soul trembled violently, giving rise to an extremely wonderful sensation. Lin Mo felt a connection between himself and the galaxy of laws, as if he could mobilize its power at any time. At that moment, he knew he had become a minor god sovereign. But not in the normal sense of a minor god sovereign. Because his soul was too strong, so strong that it didn't need to undergo the law baptism to directly mobilize the power of the galaxy of laws. So even though he wasn't a god sovereign yet, he possessed all the qualities a god sovereign should have. What a wonderful feeling, compared to before, it's much easier for me to manipulate the galaxy of laws now, and the power I can mobilize is much stronger. Once my soul truly merges into the galaxy of laws, I estimate I'll be able to mobilize even more power. The galaxy of laws is the power of heaven and earth, the foundation of all power. Even the power of rules of the other shore realm must be based on the galaxy of laws. The God Sovereign's path is to constantly merge their soul with the galaxy of laws, ultimately realizing that you are me, and I am you. Lin Mo recalled what God Sovereign Hao had said. He had asked God Sovereign Hao about cultivation matters, and God Sovereign Hao had explained it to him in detail. The cultivation method for God Sovereigns is very simple. They don't need to comprehend any laws anymore. What they need to do is to let their souls enter the galaxy of laws, travel within it, and increase their degree of fusion with the galaxy of laws. As the degree of fusion increases, their realm will also rise, and the power they can call upon will become stronger. The galaxy of laws will continuously enhance the power of the soul and, to some extent, nourish the physical body, making it stronger. Until their soul is completely fused with the galaxy of laws, indistinguishable from each other, they can not only travel through the galaxy of laws but also cross it and step onto the other shore. Moreover, there are many treasures in the galaxy of laws. During the journey, one might occasionally have unexpected gains. Although the cultivation method is simple, the difficulty is not low. It is not easy to increase the degree of fusion between the soul and the galaxy of laws. According to God Sovereign Hao's original words, Lin Mo would only know once he tried it himself. Everyone's feelings are different, and it's impossible to explain clearly with words alone. It requires personal experience. God Sovereign Hao was right, but Lin Mo had his own ideas. 5. In the outside world, Lin Mo's aura increased significantly again. Even a phantom of the galaxy of laws appeared above Lin Mo's head. His aura had completely changed, becoming different from a god king, stronger than a god king, somewhat like a god sovereign, yet not as good as a god sovereign. He has stepped into the minor god sovereign realm. Just 2 days to go from god king rank 9 to minor god sovereign, this speed is a miracle. Old Wu, how long did it take you to step into the minor god sovereign realm back then? This old man took 72 years, considered a genius among his peers. 72 years compared to 2 days, what a difference. I remember it took you 90 years back then, 18 years more than me, that's really fast. Old geezer, trying to start a fight. Fight then, who's afraid of who? A group of god sovereigns were bickering and comparing. Compared to Lin Mo, their old faces turned red, feeling like idiots. Chapter 1798. Even miracles don't work like this. Lin Mo was now having a headache. After becoming a minor god sovereign, the power of the strange star continued to surge in. This power seemed to know what to do, beginning to envelop Lin Mo's soul, pushing it towards the galaxy of laws. The first step in accepting the law baptism, the soul enters the galaxy of laws. Lin Mo was very clear that once his soul entered the galaxy of laws, becoming a god sovereign was inevitable. The quality of his soul was too high, making fusion with the galaxy of laws effortless. But he didn't want to become a god sovereign yet, or rather, he couldn't become a god sovereign yet. He vibrated his soul power rising, resisting the power transmitted from the strange star. But no matter what he did, it was useless. His own soul power actually took the initiative to merge with the power of the strange star. The two powers seemed to be one, like hitting his right palm with his left, making a sound but accomplishing nothing. His soul, like the previous tributaries of the law, was approaching the galaxy of laws at a steady pace. What the heck? Lin Mo couldn't help but curse. Moreover, because this power had no malice, even the Talent 30 giant tree and 9-colored dragon soul crystal did not react. It seemed like these two guys were just watching the show. Seeing that he was getting closer and closer to the galaxy of laws, Lin Mo began to worry. Since he couldn't resist, he would move away. His soul flew in the opposite direction, but before he could fly far, Lin Mo felt that his soul couldn't move. The power of the strange star continued to pour in, stopping him, pulling him back. What is going on? Lin Mo really didn't know whether to laugh or cry. This feeling was like another version of himself, dragging him, trying to turn him into a god sovereign. But he really didn't want to become a god sovereign now. He still had things to do. Lin Mo tried to control the Talent giant tree and the 9-colored dragon soul crystal. But these two guys were at a loss, not knowing what to do. Fighting himself. They said they couldn't do it. Lin Mo had thought of several methods before, but they were obviously useless. Now, only the last method had not been tried, self-detonating his soul. He could use the origin spell to directly raise his realm to the limit, completing a soul self-detonation. In Lin Mo's understanding, if the soul self-detonated, then there should be no problem, right? Watching helplessly as he got closer and closer to the galaxy of laws, Lin Mo was really at his wit's end. With a ruthless heart, the origin spell was immediately activated. In an instant, his soul broke through to the god sovereign realm. Breaking through to the god sovereign realm was still useless. The power of the strange star was still pouring in, and his soul was still approaching the galaxy of laws at a steady pace. Lin Mo's soul increased rapidly, God Sovereign rank 2, rank 3. Outside the star, those God Sovereigns widened their eyes again, even stopping their bickering. This guy has become a God Sovereign. Goodness, he really became a God Sovereign, how could it be so fast? No, he's at God Sovereign rank 2. One God Sovereign let out a strange cry. Becoming a God Sovereign was one thing, but reaching rank 2 in the blink of an eye. But this was just the beginning of the strange cries. Rank 3. No, rank 4. My god, is this guy going crazy? Almost every half second, Lin Mo's realm could increase by 1 rank. In the blink of an eye, Lin Mo reached God Sovereign rank 6. In just a few breaths, less than 5 seconds, Lin Mo completed the breakthrough from God Sovereign rank 1 to God Sovereign rank 6. In the eyes of the God Sovereigns outside, it was no longer possible to describe it as a miracle. But they couldn't find any other words to describe it. Lin Mo repeatedly raised his realm, and he found that as his realm increased, the speed at which he approached the galaxy of laws was gradually decreasing. The power of the strange star was very strong, and because it came from the same source as his own power, he couldn't do anything about it. But as his realm increased, the power of the strange star was gradually weakening. Lin Mo had some understanding in his heart. It's not that the power of the strange star is weak, but that I have become stronger. It's a pity that there are many problems with the realm elevated by using the origin spells. The realm is high, but the fusion degree with the Lost Star River has not been improved, and the power of the Lost Star River that can be mobilized is also extremely limited. If I were a true sixth-order god, the power of the strange star would not be able to control me at all. Even without the sixth-order god, the fifth order would be enough. Before, when he was a seventh-order god king, he could push his realm to the fifth-order god by using gathering power, and when he reached the sixth-order god, he would exceed the limit, and his soul would collapse on its own. Now he is already a little god, which is considered to have improved 3 small realms. According to past experience, he should be able to raise his realm to the 8th level of god, and his soul would not be able to bear it until the 9th level of god. But now, only at the 6th level of god, the soul has a feeling of reaching its limit. So Lin Mo stopped. He felt that if he raised one more level, his soul would explode. Is it because of the power of rules? Once the god reaches the 7th level, he is called a high-level god, and the high-level god will touch the power of rules for the first time. Although there is only a trace of the power of rules, rules are rules, which are a higher level than law. My soul quality should be enough, but the real realm is not enough, and the soul is not integrated with the Lost Star River, so it cannot bear the power of rules. Lin Mo understood the reason. Although it was a bit unexpected, it did not affect his plan. With a soft drink, the realm was raised again. The power of the Undead Legion was gathered again, and the powerful force forcibly raised the realm to the 7th level of God. Lin Mo felt a strange force. This force was integrated into the law, born out of thin air, and seemed to be a sublimation of the law. Then with a bang, the soul exploded and the law collapsed. As his soul collapsed, the power of the strange star lost its target, quickly retreated, and disappeared without a trace. The talent was also activated at this moment, and the soul was shrouded in a purple light, completing the reorganization and rebirth in the blink of an eye. After the rebirth, the soul's breath was stable, and the realm returned to the little god. 530 The power of the strange star has finally disappeared. Lin Mo breathed a sigh of relief, but before he was happy for half a second, the power of the strange star reappeared, wrapping the soul again, and pushing the soul towards the Lost Star River. I'm going. Lin Mo was extremely depressed. The strange star was too tireless. Now he misses Antares very much. If Antares is there, this guy will definitely have a way. The soul looked at the talent giant tree, and with a thought, the talent giant tree stretched out a branch to entangle the soul, trying to pull the soul back. But the power of the strange star was too strong, and the talent giant tree could only slow down a little and buy some time. Self-destruction is useless, and the talent giant tree can't stop it. Could it be that I really want to become a god? I'm really not reconciled. Becoming a god, others can wake up laughing in their dreams, but Lin Mo is full of depression. Although he had been mentally prepared before, and it was his own choice, there was still unwillingness. Lin Mo plans to fight again and detonate the soul again. He will not easily admit defeat, and will drag on as long as he can. The talent can be reset once every 35 seconds, and each time it can give him 2 chances for rebirth. Each time he self-destructs his soul, it takes about half a second to get him away from the Lost Star River. If he can make good use of these 35 seconds and calculate the time of self-destruction, he may be able to drag on for a long, long time. Let's do it. Lin Mo plans to launch Gathering Power for the 2nd time, and a spell stellar smash down. Chapter 1799. A childlike spell stellar. The spell stellar fell like a meteor, flew past the soul, and then spun around the soul quickly. The soul only felt a lightness all over, and the power of the strange star was forcibly break. You are finally willing to move. The soul murmur. The spell stellar that fell down is the supreme infinite fusion spell stellar, like an emperor. This guy hasn't moved for a long time. Since eating the maple leaf grass in the maple forest secret realm, this guy hasn't moved again. Now it's finally moving again. And as soon as it came, it sent a big gift, helping itself to solve the urgent need. It stopped in front of the soul, making creaking sounds. Lin Mo felt that its spirituality seemed to have been enhanced again, which should be related to eating the maple leaf grass. I don't know where the maple leaf grass came from. After entering the Maple Forest Secret Realm, it experienced the evolution of the Maple Forest Secret Realm and gave birth to spirituality. It can be regarded as a kind of spiritual material. Eventually it became the Infinite Fusion spell stellar's food. The Infinite Fusion called for a while, and when it saw that Lin Mo didn't respond, it leaned over and rubbed the soul. Sound of baby. It called softly, with affection, and acted carefully, for fear of hurting Lin Mo's soul. The whole behavior is like a kitten, very cute. Lin Mo couldn't help but reach out and touch it. It immediately flew away, spinning around the soul, while emitting a joyful cry. It's like a child who has been exaggerated. Lin Mo once again felt the power of the strange star. The strange star carried the undead law and still tirelessly dig over. It wants to continue to push the soul into the Lost Star River. Lin Mo said softly, "Help me solve them." Sound of baby. The infinite fusion spell stellar screamed, and the entire stellar suddenly emitted a hazy light. The undead law surge from the strange star turned at the same time and was sucked over. The infinite fusion spell stellar is like a bottomless pit, it doesn't refuse anyone, it sucks as much as it comes. At first, Lin Mo was a little worried, would it suck too much and break itself? After all, it had a black history of indigestion. But gradually he let go of his heart. The infinite fusion spell stellar sucked very happily, and still called out from time to time, as if to report peace. Lin Mo didn't know whether to laugh or cry. This guy is really able to eat diaresis. Outside the strange star, those gods looked at each other again, extremely shocked. The shock they have experienced in their lives is not as much as today. In their eyes, Lin Mo raised his realm to the 7th level of God in just a few seconds, and then his breath disappeared, as if he was dead. Then the breath reappeared and returned to the little god. For God, time can pass very slowly. The things that happen in every second can be broken down into many parts by them. Every detail will be grasped by them without any omission. At the moment when Lin Mo's breath disappeared just now, they really thought Lin Mo was dead. But later, Lin Mo was still intact. Lin Mo's actions once again subvert their cognition. Everyone said that they couldn't understand at all. Some gods wanted to ask Lin Mo, but they couldn't get close at all. Millions of kilometers away from the strange star, there seemed to be an invisible barrier, firmly blocking them. Just as they were wondering, someone suddenly called out, "The strange star has changed." On the strange star, the originally clear gray and white colors began to spread towards each other's territory. The white mist crazy surged into the gray area, and the mist in the gray area also spread towards the white area. It looks like the two kinds of mist are going to fuse with each other. Is this going to merge into one? Could this be the true face of law? I wonder what kind of law it will be after fusion. But some sharp-eyed divine sovereigns shook their heads. They are not merging, they are exchanging positions. Exchanging positions. Hearing him say this, the divine sovereigns noticed that it was indeed the case. The gray-white mists were not merging together, but were exchanging their territories with each other. Polar reversal. The divine sovereigns watched the scene unfolding before them. They didn't know what would happen next, but a feeling told them that the changes in the strange star contained the principles of heaven and earth. If they could comprehend it, it would be of great benefit to them. In the world of souls, Lin Mo once again became an observer. He felt like he was just here to watch a show. Before, the strange star pushed him to become a lesser divine sovereign, and now the infinite fusion spell was absorbing the power of the strange star for him. Unusual fluctuations came from the outside world. Anyway, the situation in the soul world was the same with or without him, so he simply left the soul world. Lin Mo opened his eyes and saw the strange star in a state of polar reversal. Suddenly, he understood. It's impossible for the power of the strange star to be entirely supplied to me. As long as I can hold on until the polar reversal is over, the strange star will stop. The previous few times, after he absorbed the power of the strange star underwent a polar reversal. It was basically certain that after the polar reversal, the strange star would stop. In that case, even if infinite fusion doesn't move, I can keep self-destructing my soul to get through this time. However, that's too troublesome, and self-destruction isn't pleasant either. It's much more comfortable to watch a show and eat melons. Lin Mo smiled slightly, separating a trace of consciousness to pay attention to the soul world. Infinite fusion worked very hard, absorbing all the power of the strange star. After waiting for half a day, the polar reversal finally ended. As Lin Mo judged, the strange star finally stopped. The strange star stopped, and the infinite fusion spell emitted a cheer, circling around the soul again. Its appearance was like a child asking for praise. The soul reached out and patted it, and it rubbed against the soul a few times, then flew back to its original position with a whoosh. It was still high above, still the emperor of all spell stars. Lin Mo discovered that the hazy aura it emitted seemed to be a little thicker than before. It seems that absorbing the power of the strange star is not without any benefits. Lin Mo seemed to understand something, and truly breathed a sigh of relief. This adventure could be considered a complete success. He had reached the lesser divine sovereign realm, and the combat power of the undead legion had greatly increased. Even the basic 3 types of skeletons had reached the divine sovereign realm. The Bone Dragon and Death Knight had both reached the 2nd tier of the divine sovereign realm. His most commonly used skeleton divine general had reached the 5th tier of the divine sovereign realm. The legion ruler was at the 6th tier of the divine sovereign realm. As for whether the strongest skeleton king had reached the standard of a high-level divine sovereign, Lin Mo wasn't sure and needed to summon it to see. Although the number hadn't changed, such an army purely above the divine sovereign realm was enough to make any race tremble. However, Lin Mo was also clear that although he had now reached the divine sovereign realm, he was still no match for the other shore realm. Just a few other shore realm experts working together could kill his divine sovereign army, the difference being how long it would take. So he still needed to hide his strength. Now that the Abyss Demon Lord was already eyeing him, if he provoked a few more other shore realm experts, he wouldn't be able to go out and would have to shrink in the divine city all day long. One day, when he achieved the other shore realm and possessed the strength to confront the Holy Venerable head-on, he would bring disaster to all races. Chapter 1800. This trip is complete, it's time to go back. The changes in the strange star stopped, the polar reversal occurred, and the power of life and death collided again, re-emitting thick mist. Soon, the gray-white mist enveloped the entire star system at an alarming rate. Before long, the star system would return to its original appearance. The cultivators of the White Tiger starfield could continue to use the power of belief to fuse the power of life and death, creating powerful magic treasures. Lin Mo felt the changes in the strange star. This strange star was too large, and he didn't know how much power it had accumulated over countless years. The amount he absorbed was just a drop in the bucket for the entire strange star. He could even activate the strange star again and absorb the power inside again. However, Lin Mo also knew that doing so was meaningless. What he needed next was to let his soul enter the Lost Star River and receive the baptism of the Lost Star River. No matter how much external undead law there was, it would not be able to continue to increase his strength. After he became a divine sovereign, he would no longer need external power. If he activated it again, it would only make him a divine sovereign, which would be harmful and not beneficial. Lin Mo looked at the strange star under his feet and muttered to himself, perhaps in the future, I will still need you. He had a feeling that the role of the strange star was definitely not just this. Otherwise, during the invasion of the Black Blood Great World in ancient times, why would they target the strange star? How could something that could attract the attention of such beings and want to destroy it be something simple? Moreover, the strange star was so solid that even the Supreme couldn't destroy it. Lin Mo believed in his intuition, and perhaps he would really use the strange star again in the future. He retracted his gaze, left the strange star, and rushed out of the thick fog. The next second, a group of divine sovereigns blocked Lin Mo's path. Little friend, can we ask you a few questions? One of them asked. Lu Tianling had a cultivation base of the 6th tier of the divine sovereign realm, and was the highest cultivation base among the divine sovereigns present. High-level divine sovereigns were not common anywhere. Lu Tianling had a kind face, like a kind old grandfather, and his posture was very low. Lin Mo bowed to Lu Tianling and the others, greetings, seniors. Please ask whatever you want. This junior will definitely answer what I can. Lu Tianling smiled and said, did little friend comprehend the laws within the strange star? Lu Tianling and the others had obviously discussed it, and didn't speak all at once. Several divine sovereigns pricked up their ears, waiting for Lin Mo's answer. Lin Mo generously admitted directly, yes, I comprehended the laws of the strange star. Hearing Lin Mo's affirmative answer, the eyes of several divine sovereigns suddenly lit up. They were now certain that the strange star could really comprehend laws, but they were not qualified enough to comprehend them. Lu Tianling continued to ask, can little friend reveal a little, what laws are contained in the strange star? Lin Mo said, this law is called the undead law. Undead law. Several divine sovereigns looked at each other, their eyes showing a trace of confusion. Obviously, they had never heard of this law. Lin Mo smiled and said, regarding the specific information about the undead law, seniors can check it in the Human Emperor Network. This junior has something to do. If seniors have no other questions, this junior will take my leave first. Lu Tianling immediately said, thank you for telling us, little friend. Please go ahead. In fact, they all knew that their question was already not very polite. Even if Lin Mo refused to tell them, it would be a very normal thing. No matter what law it was Lin Mo's personal privacy, and others had no right to ask. Lin Mo Yu being willing to tell them the name of the law was already a very polite gesture. Lin Mo Yu transformed into a stream of light, stepping back onto the golden path. The golden path immediately carried him back to the starting fortress. After Lin Mo Yu left, the divine sovereigns began to connect to the Human Emperor network to inquire about information regarding the Undying Law. As divine sovereigns, their permissions within the Human Emperor network were not low, and they quickly found that this law did indeed exist. Undying Law, there really is such a law. This is a Tier 1 law, my heavens. Why isn't there a specific introduction to this law? Within the Human Emperor network, the Undying Law did exist, but the information was limited. After some searching, Lu Tianling stated with certainty, the Undying Law must have been discovered in recent years. This old man wouldn't be mistaken, this law certainly didn't exist before. The number of Tier 1 laws was already small, and they were all familiar, able to be recited from memory. With the memory of a divine sovereign, it was impossible to forget something once seen. One divine sovereign pondered, such a big event, a new Tier 1 law appearing, how could it be recorded so sloppily in the Human Emperor network? I feel like there's a problem. I also feel like there's a problem. The Human Emperor network must have hidden some information, and that person also concealed his name, it's probably related to him. Even we can't view it, it seems the confidentiality of this information is very high. Old Bai, why don't you ask the Domain Lord? You and the Domain Lord are from the same family, asking shouldn't be a problem, right? The divine sovereign called Old Bai was named Bai Xiangtian, a 5th-level divine sovereign, and like Bai Binger, the domain lord of the White Tiger Starfield, came from the Bai family of Divine City. Bai Xiangtian nodded and sent a message to Bai Binger. After a while, his expression became strange. What did the domain lord say? Several divine sovereigns asked in unison. Bai Wenshan said, the domain lord told me not to ask too much, and to pretend I don't know about this matter. Bai Binger's answer made the old man feel puzzled. Lu Tianling whispered, it seems this young friend's identity is not simple. Standing on the golden path, it didn't take long to return to the fortress. Just as he left the exit, he saw Yu Zhu flying over with a smile. Captain, you're back. Yu Zhu's voice was as sweet as ever, and contained a special affection within it. She came to Lin Mo Yu's front, with a hint of doubt, Captain, how are you different? Lin Mo Yu smiled slightly, how am I different? Yu Zhu looked closely, even sniffing with her nose, I can't say, but you're just different. Looking was one thing, but she even sniffed with her nose. Lin Mo Yu was amused by Yu Zhu's cute appearance, and couldn't help but touch her head. Yu Zhu showed a very enjoyable expression, at this moment, she felt very happy. Lin Mo Yu was in a good mood at the moment, this trip was very satisfactory. Not only did his strength greatly increase, but he also didn't break through to the Divine Sovereign Realm. Staying in the Lesser Divine Sovereign Realm was of great benefit to what he was going to do next. This matter is over, it's time to go. Lin Mo Yu looked again at the strange stars in the center of the star system, and turned to leave. Yu Zhu followed behind him, Captain, where are we going next? Lin Mo Yu whispered, it's time to return to Divine City. Yu Zhu's pretty face changed slightly, and a strong reluctance appeared in her eyes. She wanted to stay with Lin Mo Yu for a while longer, for no reason, as long as she was with Lin Mo Yu, she felt happy. Unfortunately, good times are always short, Lin Mo Yu was going back to Divine City, and the two of them should separate. Yu Zhu lowered her head and said nothing, but her eyes were slightly moist. Core of Divine City, Song Jia, the ancestor of the Song family, came to Madame Yu's side. Madame Yu, there's something I'd like to discuss with you.